Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.
Wild and woolly Wichita died hard. In the spring of 1876, Marshal Wyatt Earp believed the town was civilized at last. If he could get by one more cattle drive, the cowhands would move on to Dodge City, which was the new Gomorrah of the plains. But Wyatt discounted too much the forces of cowhand hatred and vengeance. A lot of men whom Wyatt had buffaloed or thrown into jail were determined to have one last fling in Wichita, come rain or snow.
Here, I help you, Mr. Push. Oh, good. You try. How they feel, Mr. Earp? Too tired? They pinch?
No, that isn't it. It's just that... Well, it's the first time I've ever had on any walking shoes. I guess that's why they just don't fit right.
But you need walking shoes, Mr. Earp. When you're on horseback, the boot, sure. But the town is so quiet, you walk the streets like a big city cop.
Yeah, I know, Tommy. Well, it's the end of something. The end of all the bad old days. Imagine me pounding a beat.
You should be happy and proud, Mr. Earp. Wichita is now civilized. And you did it with fists and guns and brains.
Well, I just helped the folks out a bit. But mostly they did it themselves by insisting on a peaceful... Take care of my boots.
Don't lose your temper, Ori. Don't lose your temper.
I ain't bad, hon. I gotta start hitting them pretty soon.
No, Ori, please. Stop it. You don't know what you're doing. If Ori loses his temper.
Break it up. Break it.
Break it up! Break it up! Why don't you fight your own fight?
Oh, Matthew.
Stop it, Ori. Put him down.
Throw him out the door.
Put him down, I said.
All right, hon. I only lost my temper for just a second, hon.
You want me to arrest him, Mr. Taylor?
No, he doesn't. Get out of here, all of you. That means you too, Mr. Earp.
Oh, Mildred don't mean that. You can stay. He's the law, and we make friends with the law. Is that what you told me, hon?
The law, yes, but not Mr. Earp. I'm sorry, but his cousins don't like you.
Oh, that's a secret.
It's all right. I know who your cousins are.
You do?
Mm-hmm. Man and Clements, Joe and Jip Clements, John Wesley Hardin, among others.
Doggone it, hon.
And you ran Manham Clements and Wes Hardin out of Wichita. Well, the fat's in the fire, Ori. I guess we have to leave town.
Excuse me, that dinner roast of mine will burn. Excuse me.
Why do you think you're going to have to leave town, Mrs. Taylor? You started an honest business. You got a right nice place here.
Thanks.
Look, I'm not going to tell anybody about your family connections if that's what's worrying you.
The word will get out somehow.
What if it does?
Ori's a Clements. I got him away from them, but once folks know who we are, there'll be trouble. Once a Clements, always a Clements, I reckon. How'd you find out?
Your father wrote me.
Oh,
You want me to run Ori out of town.
that sounds like Papa. Well, why didn't you order us to leave?
Well, what he wants doesn't make any difference to me. Besides, folks can't always choose their relatives on either side. Now, you and Ori are welcome to stay here in Wichita as long as you obey the city ordinances.
That's mighty decent of you. How come the Clements talk so mean?
Oh, I don't talk mean, honey. I like Mr. Earp real good. You know, that roast of mine ain't even singed.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Maybe I'll stop back for supper.
Say, you be our guest. What I mean is, Mildred and me won't charge you nothing.
No, there was a fight at lunch, and there'll be another row at dinner. Some cowhand won't like the way Ori cooks, or he'll get fresh with me, and Ori will lose his temper, and then...
No, I won't, hon. I promised her if she'd marry me, well, there wouldn't be any more killings. I don't even keep a gun.
You stick to that, Mr. Taylor. We're all trying to have a law-abiding town here in Wichita.
Yeah, that's what we heard.
I give you my promise you'll get police protection.
You're going to surround this place with deputies?
No, just myself. I'll stay out there in the kitchen where I won't be too obvious. I'll see you all later.
Oh, honey, Mr. Earp means it. Just think, I'll never have to lose my temper again.
You call this good chow? It's hog slop.
Put that down.
Now, who threw that? I said, who threw it? Well, I got my supper. You get a mop and clean that up. Use her, I'll use your head for a mop.
Now, Ori?
Oh, it's all right, hon. No temper. Ori! Yes, sir.
I'll have roast beef, medium rare.
Yes, mister.
Now, let's all sit down and have a nice, quiet dinner.
Shall we?
Can I have a dustpan, please?
Who's he?
Oh, he's one of a bunch of drunken cowhands creating a disturbance outside that new cafe. It was pretty early in the morning. They were all standing out in front shouting at Ori Taylor to come on out and feed them breakfast. I just locked the rest of them up.
Any of them packing guns?
Yeah, this one was. That's why I kept him out here. I thought maybe you might want to talk to him.
No. I spoke him on peace disturbance, threatening with a deadly weapon. Drunk on the streets.
All right. Come on. Inside. Come on. Come on.
I don't know why you're taking up for these Clements.
Ori and Mildred aren't Clements.
They're trouble, Wyatt.
Oh. Why should they be? She broke with her own father to marry him, and Ori wants to run an honest business. What's wrong with that?
Romantically, nothing. But practically, it's stirring up a hornet's nest. Why not let me print the fact that the Taylors are related to Mem Clements?
I'd just as soon you wouldn't, that's all.
It'd stop the trouble in their cafe right quick if the cowhand show-offs knew who they were fooling with. What are you trying to prove, Wyatt?
I'm trying to prove it's a new Wichita.
What?
Oh, you know Taylor could keep order all by himself. He's strong enough to break the average man in half, and if he wanted a gun, he'd go get it. But that was the old Wichita, Mr. Murdoch.
Well, sure, Wyatt, but this is different. It's different.
Look, we all worked hard to build a police force, to convince the town that a man no longer has to protect his own life and property. The police force will do it for him. Now, if that doesn't hold for Ori Taylor, then we have nothing. We failed. If we admit that, then Wichita's going to slide right back where Dodge City is now.
Wyatt, there's more trouble down at the new cafe.
What's wrong now?
I don't know, but the woman sent word for you to get down there right away.
I'll see you later. Get a shotgun.
You let that man out, Ori. He'll smother in there.
No, Mr. Earp's going to settle this.
He can't settle it. The madder you make that man, the more apt he is to talk. Can't you see that, you big stupid?
Well, I don't care if he talks, honey. He threatened you.
He's just a town tough. He can't do... Ori put a man in the closet. He's got to let him out before he smothers.
Who started the row?
He called us Clements as he sawed my cousin man.
Now, let him out, Mr. Taylor.
But he said he'd gun me. And he said he'd gun Mildred, too.
Now, let him out.
Okay, if you say so.
Take it easy. You'll be all right, Jack.
You know him?
Jack Minto. I've had him in jail a couple of times.
Since when you pal up with Clemenses? You better stop that.
Ori!
You want a piece of this joint, Marshal? That's why you're giving him personal protection?
Right now, I'm protecting you.
From what? Ptomaine poison?
Now, look, you better get out of here and stay out.
I ain't scared of him. Or any of his murdering cousins. Take it easy. I swore I'd get Man and Clement.
Any Clements will do.
There, he threatened us again.
Now, just take it easy, Ori. Sit down.
Who is he?
He's a faro dealer, guard over at the Oriental.
Why is he so sore at Cousin Manning?
Well, when he gets drunk, he'll tell anybody that listens to him that Manning killed his brother.
Was that true?
I don't know.
But I never killed nobody. Why don't he go after Manning?
He's scared to, I think.
Oh, it's no use, Ori. We can't stay here. We'll have to sell out and move further west.
Guess so, hon, but it don't seem hardly fair. Why can't a man live in peace? I like to keep good control of my temper. I like to cook things real nice and watch folks sit down and enjoy themselves and eat, all friendly like. Mister, why can't a man do that?
He can, Ori.
No, he
Now,
can't.
look, don't worry. I'll run Minto out of town. Now, you two go on, prepare lunch for your customers.
Hold it.
Stay here. Your time's up, Minto.
What?
I'm doing you a favor. You better get out of town if you want to stay healthy.
You can't scare me. How much is that big idiot paying you to protect him?
You tired of living? You go against Ori with a gun, he'll break it over your head.
Sure. He stops bullets with his
Now,
nose.
look, I don't want to see you in this town 6 hours from now. If I do, it's going to take all the splint stock Fabric can find to prop you up. Sorry I'm late, but my new walking shoes pinched me so bad, I had to put my old boots back on.
What do you make of this, Wyatt? Do you think Shanghai's having a little joke with us?
No. I figured the Cheyennes would want to have one last fling.
Goodbye, Wichita. Hello, Dodge.
Yeah. But as Shanghai says, if nothing happens to make them sore, well, they'll behave all right.
Something always happens to rile the cowhands. Shouldn't you swear in some extra deputies?
Nope.
Oh, yes. Now I remember. This is the new Wichita.
That's right.
Wyatt, I've been your friend a long time.
Best friend I got in Wichita.
I'd like to speak honestly. As a friend, a newspaper man. There'll always be trouble here. Cowhands hate you, and they hate Wichita for keeping you in office. They just don't realize or won't that you're not a killing marshal.
Well, I get offers every day from Mayor Hoover and Dodge.
You're not leaving. Well, that wouldn't end the trouble. The cowhands would still hate Wichita.
I'll tell you, Mr. Murdoch, nothing stays the same. The cattle shipping business has moved on to Dodge, and as far as...
Marshal Earp, thank heaven. Minto's hiding in an alley in back of our place with a gun.
Minto, I told him to get out of town.
Oh, hurry, or he might lose his temper, and then anything can happen.
I want to wring your neck. Gonna knock you out.
Stop it, Ori! Let go!
No!
Ori! Did that man...
No. I had to hit him. He wouldn't let go. Or he killed Minto.
He had a gun. It was self-defense.
But he hadn't drawn the gun.
Are you going to arrest Ori? I thought you were our friend.
Now, look, Mrs. Taylor,
Don't give me that law talk. I'm going straight to Cousin Manning.
there's no need of that.
Yes, there is. You Wichita townies are all against the Clements. Oh, come on, hon. It'll be all right. Cousin Manning will come and get you out.
That's for the judge to decide. Come on, Ori. Come on.
You looking for someone?
I'm Manning's cousin Mildred. Where will I find him?
Right over there. alone?
Yes. I know you don't like me, but Ori's in bad trouble.
How bad?
He killed a man. Wyatt Earp put him in jail.
Well, I'll be... He'd only do that if he lost his temper.
Minto was after Ori with a gun. It was self-defense, Cousin Manning.
Ori's a maverick. Turned on his family. Married you.
Well, he's still your cousin. You're not going to let those Wichita townies lynch him.
Are you sure that's what they aim to do?
Of course they do. Earp pretended to be our friend, and then he said that Minto hadn't drawn his gun, and he took Ori for murder. Will you aim to stand by while they lynch your own blood cousin?
Well, no, I don't reckon I could do that.
Well, what are you going to do?
Busting Ori out of that Wichita jail is not going to be any picnic. I'll have to get a lot of boys.
You will come and save him.
Well, not on your account. Now, you get along back to Wichita.
Yes, sir, Cousin Manning.
Wyatt. You here all alone?
Yep.
Where are all your deputies?
Out the edge of town waiting for Man and Clemens.
What about that lynch mob out there?
Don't worry about them. They won't start anything until they see what Judge Jewett does in court.
And what are you going to do?
Tell the truth?
What's that? Taylor murdered the man, didn't he?
Nope.
Why, for heaven's sakes, he's at Clemens. Doc Fabrique tells me it was the most brutal killing he'd ever worked on.
I know. Come on, let's go to court.
Listen, Wyatt, the whole town's up in arms about this. You can't afford to side in with the Clements, with the cowhand faction.
I know I can't, but I can afford to tell the truth. Come on.
Proceed with your testimony, Mr. Taylor.
Well, when I saw him waiting for me in the alley, I kind of lost my temper. Hello, Mildred. That's my wife who just come in. She always warned me not to do it.
Not to kill Jack Minto?
Oh, no, sir, not to lose my temper.
Oh. Is that all you have to say?
I reckon it is.
You may step down.
Oh, thank you, Judge.
Marshal Earp?
Yes.
You go ahead and lie about us and see how much good it'll do you.
Order. Quiet, young woman. Proceed, Marshal Earp.
Well, I haven't got too much time, Your Honor. There's a lynch party outside, and I think Man and Clements is on his way here with a gang of cowhands.
Does that disturb you, Marshal?
No, sir.
Good. And I think we have time for you to tell the court the whole truth.
Well, sir, in the first place, I can verify everything that Ori Taylor testified to. Minto did threaten to kill Ori. I was there. So I ordered Minto to leave town.
Mildred says to hurry. Wyatt Earp's going to lie in court. The townies are all set to hang Ori after the judge sentences him.
How much time we got?
Not more than half an hour.
Give it a spur.
And I think the only question this court has to decide is whether Ori had to kill Minto.
And what is your own opinion, Marshal Earp?
Well, sir, physically speaking, Ori did have the jump on Minto and could have disarmed him. But mentally speaking, Ori was in fear of his life. I don't think the law can ask a fearful and angry man like Ori to exercise calm judgment in a situation like that. My opinion is that Ori be found guilty of manslaughter and because of extenuating circumstances be given a suspended sentence.
This court agrees with Marshal Earp and sentences the defendant to 1 year in jail. The sentence is hereby suspended.
Judge, does that mean I don't have to go to jail?
That's right. But I think Marshal Earp wants to keep you in protective custody for a short time.
Well, I think that would be better, sir. Did you take Mr. Taylor back to jail?
Moved it. Court's adjourned.
They took him to the jail. Let's get over there. Hold it.
I thought you men wanted a civilized town. Well, you got one, whether you want it or not. Now, maybe you're the last of the old Wichita Wild and Woolies. Maybe you'd rather die than act decent. All right. All of you in favor of dying, make your play.
Only a handful. I said the whole town would be after Taylor.
Wichita's changed, Mr. Murdoch. But I doubt if Manning Clements has changed very much.
Why not turn Taylor loose? That'd satisfy Clements.
Manning would just think I was doing that because I was afraid of him. I'm gonna go meet him.
You want to fight?
No, I want peace, Mr. Murdoch. Sometimes you can talk folks into being civilized. Other times you gotta use a gun.
Pick one up.
All right, man?
You all set?
Yeah. Got the shotguns loaded. Keep an eye out.
Wyatt, I may have done wrong, but I let Mrs. Taylor through.
How long ago was that?
15 minutes or so. She wouldn't say what her business was or where she was going.
She's probably going to tell Manning that we're keeping Ori in jail. He's not going to like that.
We did that for Ori's own good.
You try and argue that with Manning. I'm going to talk with this.
Wyatt, here they come.
All right, everybody keep down. Don't start anything until they do.
She says you told the truth.
I always try to do that.
She says you stood off a lynch party. You aimed to turn Cousin Ori loose from jail.
That's right.
The judge and you Wichita folks really gave one of us Clemenses a fair trial.
Yes, they did, Cousin Manning.
Well, I'm mighty thankful to you, Mr. Earp.
You're welcome.
Me and the boys, we left our weapons back yonder. You reckon it's all right for us to come into Wichita?
Yep.
I don't suppose you'd take a bite to eat with us over at the Texas Hotel.
Well, thank you, Manning. I'd like to do that. Mrs. Taylor, I'm sure that invitation includes you and Cousin Ori.
Well,
It's a family affair. You're kinfolk. Does seem like there's something more I could do.
There is. You can tell the cow camps that Wichita wants peace. They'd listen to you, Manning.
I'll do that, Mr. Earp.
All right, everybody grab a box. Move them out of the way.
Mighty nice of you, Mr. Earp.
All right, yes, sit down.
How was dinner? How was Manning?
Roast beef.
Hmm?
Well, he said he'd pass the word. He's got 37 cousins, and they in turn will pass the word.
Well, Wyatt, I guess you can move on to Dodge City with a clear conscience.
She said he couldn't guarantee that they'd listen. If they didn't listen, he'd gun them.
Well, that's one way to have peace.
Yep.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail. Oh, Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told. Long may his story be
Marshal Wyatt Earp moved on to Dodge City after taming Wichita, he found that Dodge was a right mean little town. The phrase right mean little town is frontier understatement. Dodge City in 1876 was tougher than Ellsworth, Wichita, Hayes, or Abilene at their worst. 2 months was a long time for a marshal to last in Dodge. In less than 2 years, 85 bodies had been planted in the town cemetery, known as Boot Hill. It was called Boot Hill because its residents died with their boots on. The gamblers, the painted ladies, and the gunfighters of Dodge were betting that Mr. Wyatt Earp would be the next occupant of Boot Hill.
There's many a gallant man struck down by an outlaw's hand, buried there on Boot Hill. And under the same blue sky, both evil and good men lie, side by side on Boot Hill. Once they shared the earth with free men, but they learned to hate and kill. Now they share the earth with dead men on Boot Hill. So traveler, walk with care, or you and those boots you wear may tomorrow be in their company, lying cold and still on Boot Hill.
Al Treadway, killed by Marshal William Rivers. No more rivers to cross.
Oh, howdy.
Howdy.
You related to the deceased?
Oh, no, I'm just coming into town. Thought I'd stop by. This is your Boot Hill, huh?
That's right, mister. I'm Pete Bradshaw. I'm the sexton. I guess that's what you'd call it, but mostly I just dig graves.
You got a funeral today, huh?
Well, it ain't certain. The boys told me to get a grave ready. They aim to kill this new marshal that's coming here, Wyatt Earp.
Oh?
Yeah. You see, they chased Jack Allen, that's the old marshal, out of town. So George Hoover, that's the mayor. So George up and he hires this Wyatt Earp by telegraph. Seems like this here fella Earp made a big reputation in Wichita.
Yeah.
I reckon this is big enough for Earp.
Well, it might be a little bit longer.
Oh, you know Earp?
Hmm.
How tall is he?
Oh, he's about, I'd say just about my height.
Well, you'd run to about 6'1"?
Just about.
6 inches I'll have to add onto this grave. Sure glad you come along, Mr.
Earp.
Yeah, Earp. Huh? You joking with me?
Well, I never joke in cemeteries, Mr. Bradshaw.
But you're just a young fella. You ain't hardly more than a boy.
Guess I kind of aged fast.
I kind of put my foot in it, didn't I?
Don't worry about it.
It's seeing you're such a good sport. I'm going to give you a tip.
Oh.
Don't walk down Front Street. That's the main drag. They'll be laying for you along Front Street.
They will, huh?
Yeah. Hoover and the deputies are holed up in the jail. That's on the plaza. So you go down one of the side streets and kind of sneak in the back door of the jail. That's my advice.
Thank you, but aren't you kind of talking yourself out of a good job?
Well, if it ain't you, it'll be somebody else. And this hole ain't gonna run away. Well, good luck, Mr. Earp.
Thank you, Mr. Bradshaw. I'd say you might make that about 6 inches wider, too. I like a lot of elbow room.
Wyatt Earp. I'd like to talk to Mayor Hoover. talking to him. And you got here just in time. That's the Big T outfit. They've got two of my best men, Tillman and Bassett, holed up in the depot. Come on in, Mr. Earp.
No, thank you, sir, no.
What?
Well, all I want right now is my appointment as marshal and the star that goes with it.
Well, the telegram I sent you is your appointment, and here's your star. What's all the rush?
Well, I gotta take a little walk down Front Street. I understand the boys are expecting me, and I kind of hate to disappoint them.
What about Tillman and Bassett?
Oh, that can wait for a half hour or so. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. See you soon. I hope.
Tall man with the star. It must be Wyatt Earp. We're ready. Wyatt Earp's in town. Wyatt Earp is in.
Hey, you Wyatt Earp?
That's right.
Take care of your friend.
Stop moaning. You're not hurt that bad.
Here, plug it up with that. Go see the doc.
Hold it!
Go pick up your friends.
Bushwhackers.
Anybody else that doesn't like the new marshal?
Who done that?
I did.
Wyatt Earp, all right. Rousting Front Street's a waste of time. Why don't you go over to the depot? There's a little war on.
It'll keep.
I've never seen anything like that before. Took a lot of nerve walking Front Street alone.
It was a little foolhardy, Mr. Mayor, but I had to do it. If I'd let those boys think I was scared of them, I might as well have climbed on the first train out of here. They were all my deputies.
They ran. Wichita isn't like this.
Used to be.
Not quite, Mr. Earp. Do you really know what our position is at the present time?
Yeah, it's a little awkward.
We've got just two good men on our side. Charlie Bassett and Bill Tillman. And they're the sheriff and the chief deputy, not city peace officers.
Yeah, I've heard of Bassett and Tillman. They're two of the best.
The Big T outfit's been hoorahing Dodge since last night. They cornered Bill and Charlie in the depot. I don't know how much longer they can hold out.
I better get down there.
No, they've got the place surrounded by at least 30 men.
I'm just going to take a look around. There's a job you can do, Mr. Mayor. You think you can find a couple of good men in Dodge to help us?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Well, come on. Things can't be that bad. What about Dog Kelly and Chalk Beeson?
They run saloons, Mr. Earp.
Dog Kelly used to be a top sergeant in the Army. You tell him I want 6 or 8 special deputies.
I hate to be beholden to Kelly.
Now, look, Mr. Hoover, I didn't take this job to pass moral judgment on men like Kelly. When you got cowhands on a stampede, you don't appeal to the Ladies' Aid Society for help. You get tough men that know how to handle a gun.
All right, Marshal. I'll do what I can.
Thanks. I'll be back in 15 minutes. You have me some deputies.
Bassett! Tillman! Hold your fire! Who was that fella?
Wyatt Earp.
What does he say?
He says to hold on and not try to make a run for it. He says he'll be back in 20 minutes with enough help.
Enough help? What's he got, an army?
He's a good man, Charlie. I'm for taking his word.
Hey, Tillman! Bassett! Come out with your hands up. Come out or we'll fire the depot. How many cartridges you got left?
A couple of dozen.
They won't last 20 minutes. All right, get the torches.
Listen, Kelly, Earp says it'll take only 6 or 8 good men. He's sure he can handle it with that many.
Earp must have let his head swell in Wichita.
He calmed down Front Street, didn't he?
Front Street ain't the big T outfit. Earp's got nerve, but he lacks judgment. I did.
Mr. Kelly won't throw in with us, Marshal.
Oh? I thought you had an honorable discharge from the Army, Master Sergeant Kelly.
Now, don't you try to shame me into being a hero. I'm too old for that.
I see that now.
Oh, you do?
But I haven't got any time to argue with you. Are you going to get me those men?
No.
Well, you got a right handsome place here, Mr. Kelly.
Well, cost me a few thousand just to furnish the bar. I got some more stuff coming from the east.
Well, that's too bad. Well, when that big T outfit gets done killing Bassett and Tillman, they'll start shooting up Front Street. Your place ought to be about first in line. Yeah, sure like those lamps. And then I think they'd go for the mirror.
No, wait a minute.
All right. You're going to get me those men and 50 sticks of dynamite.
How soon you want them?
5 minutes. Over at the jail. All right, and there's no sense trying to knock those big T's out of their ambush. We haven't got enough men, and it'd take too long.
All right, how'd you do it in Wichita?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Kelly, in Wichita, we never let things get this bad. Everybody there was right proud of their town.
Yeah? I got the best saloon in Kansas.
Now, are you going to brag about your saloon, or are you going to listen to my plan?
Go ahead.
I noticed the cattle pens behind the depot had a lot of steers in them. Who owned them?
Big T.
That's good. We'll dynamite the pens.
Dynamite the pens?
That's right. It's the only way to run out the big T's. They'll be so busy chasing steers, they'll stop shooting at Tillman and Bassett.
All right, but let me warn them what we aim to do first. Those boys are my customers.
Mr. Kelly, I don't care anything about your saloon trade. They're shooting at peace officers. Now, are you with me, or do I go in there alone?
Earp, you're the most violent peace officer I ever met in my life. But we're with you.
Good. All right, all of you grab a couple of bundles.
Bassett! Tillman! Come on all over with your hands up!
How many we got left? Just 4 apiece, Charlie.
Earp's not coming. Let's go out and make these 8 shots count. Come out or we'll fire the depot! All right. Get the torch. All right, you 3, take the north side. You 2 come with me. You know what to do, let's go! Cover us. They're dynamiting the pen! They're dynamiting the pen! Come on, they're dynamiting the pen! Let's get them! Come on! Tillman, it's Earp!
Don't worry about the big T's. They're out chasing steers.
I'm Sheriff Bassett. This is my deputy, Bill Tillman.
Howdy.
We're sure glad to see you.
You saved our hides, but you didn't make things too good for the town.
How's that?
What Bill means is the big T ain't gonna like chasing their stock all over the country. That was a right smart stunt, and we'll take what's coming, right, Bill?
Got no choice.
Being as I'm a stranger here, what is coming?
They'll tree old Dodge and burn it to the ground. Not much loss of that.
Oh, don't discourage the marshal. Maybe they'll be satisfied with just killing the three of us. Come on, Mr. Earp. That jail of ours be the best place to make a stand.
Mr. Mayor, I think this is all wrong.
All wrong?
When you hired me as the marshal of Dodge, I took for granted it was a town.
It is.
I'm sorry. Looks like a small fort in Apache country. Here we sit holed up while the big T's are making up their mind whether we're going to live or die.
I told you they wouldn't like it. Us dynamiting the cattle pens.
Why should we care what they like? They're just a bunch of lawless hoodlums.
Easy now, Wyatt.
Look, we're either the law or we're nothing.
But there's only so much we can do. Sure, I'm the sheriff of Ford County, and you're the marshal of Dodge.
And that'll be carved on the head markers.
You keep out of this, Bill. This fella's from Wichita, where it's been civilized for quite a spell. How old do you think Dodge City is?
11 or 12 years, how do I know?
4. In 1872, it was nothing but a tent camp and a few sod huts.
You can't make a city in 4 years, Wyatt.
And you can't go against an outfit like the Big T with a handful of guns. They outsmarted Bill and me. We went to the pens to check on rustled steers, and before we knew it, they had 30 Winchesters and Colts on us. I warned them.
A cattle outfit like that is just a mob. Who heads up the Big T?
Gus Andrews, wouldn't you say, Bill?
He's their foreman and top gun.
How good is he?
Fast. Planted 6 in Boot Hill.
He's got a lot of extra help now, Wyatt.
Hey, Kelly and Hoover, I want to talk to you. Come on out here.
Gus Andrews is plenty sore at you.
Is that so?
Yeah, he says you got to pay $20 a head for 9 steers. Also, he wants those pens rebuilt by noon tomorrow.
Hold it.
Yes, Sonny.
Gus Andrews isn't giving any orders to Mayor Hoover. You go tell Mr. Andrews that I want him for inciting a riot and for shooting at peace officers.
Oh, now.
Shut up! You tell Mr. Andrews to ride into Dodge alone and give himself up. If he's not here by sundown, I'm coming after him, you understand?
Don't make me laugh.
You still laughing?
No, sir.
When you get on your horse and tell Andrews what I said.
They got a grave waiting for you, Earp.
Yeah, we'll send flowers. I reckon Mr. Andrews isn't coming into town. So where can I find him?
Huh?
Where can I find Mr. Andrews?
I know, but I don't aim to tell you.
Charlie's trying to save your life.
Well, I'll ask around. Somebody ought to know where I can find the Big T outfit.
Don't you know it's suicide riding into the Big T outfit?
Maybe.
Bill, you talk to him.
No business of mine. Come on, it's your move.
You made a reputation for yourself in Wichita and Ellsworth. What good's that going to do you if you wind up on Boot Hill?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Bassett, I learned something in those towns. A mob isn't 20 men, 50 men, or 100 men. It's one man, its leader. In this case, it's Gus Andrews. That's why I'm going after him. Now, you can do me a big favor. Does Andrews have a high forehead or a low forehead?
High.
What brand of Stetson does he wear?
Pride of Texas, like all of Big T.
2-inch sweatband, huh? Thank you, sir. A pleasure meeting you, Mr. Tillman.
I'll be at your funeral.
That big-headed Yankee show-off.
You going along?
Yeah.
If that Earp gets me killed, I hope somebody explains to my wife.
Where do they think they're going?
After Gus Andrews.
We ought to stop them.
No.
Herb, Bassett, and Tillman. Well, there's a sight you maybe won't see again in your lifetime. Three greatest peace officers ever lived.
And I told him we didn't have the trouble. These guys didn't want to.
What year was that?
1950.
Well, I don't know.
Which one of you is Gus Andrews?
I am.
I sent word for you to come into town. Did you get the message?
Sure, I got your message. But I figured you'd drop by for my answer.
The rest of you, drop your gun belts. Don't want to have to dig any further into Boot Hill. I said drop it! Give me in with Gus. The other two are dead.
What about Gus?
He'll live. Just got a hurt head. Come on, give us a hand.
Morning, Mr. Bradshaw.
Herb, I thought this was for you.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but we had a little change in plans.
I just got word to dig another. Who are these two for?
Well, I don't know. Sheriff Bassett and Deputy Tillman are getting the names, and they're making the arrangements.
Was you in the fight?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how come you missed?
Well, just lucky, I guess. You know, one of these days we're going to have to close this Boot Hill section.
Close it? Why?
It's given Dodge City a pretty bad reputation. And anyway, as a new marshal, I don't think I could give you too much business.
You must be pretty poor hand with a gun.
I guess you're right. I always do manage to miss somehow.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told. Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told. Long may his story be told.
We aimed a corner up in the alley and blow that tin star he wears clean through him. Yeah. Kill us so-and-so.
You mean bushwhack him?
Oh, now, and you're gonna help us. Or do you want your saloon burnt to the ground and half the town with it?
No, I'll help you.
life and legend of Wyatt Earp, starring Hugh O'Brien. Wyatt Earp, the new marshal of Dodge City, was trying to civilize the toughest town on the western frontier. The hoodlums of Dodge knew that Earp had tamed Ellsworth and Wichita, but these were little cow towns compared to Dodge City, the cowhand capital. Marshal Earp had to start all over again, and in the face of opposition which had run several peace officers out of Dodge. This Gomorrah of the Plains offered Wyatt Earp a hard choice, fight or run. And if he was to fight it out, Wyatt needed the help of City Councilman Jim Kelly. Mr. Dog Kelly, they called him in the history books. Ex-soldier, gambler, saloon keeper. An odd mixture of good and evil.
This place won't open until I feel like it. Jim Kelly. Jim must be riled about something. Well, I wanted to get a drink.
It's like I was bewitched by this fella, Earp Deacon. He comes in here and fast talks me into helping him against the Big T outfit. I got no business helping him against good customers like the Big T Ranch boys. Who's next? What's the next donation?
The Reverend Halkett.
Give him 50. Why should I have helped Wyatt Earp? Who's Wyatt Earp? Nothing but a smart aleck young John Law. He'll be here today and dead tomorrow. Who's next?
Mrs. Jenkins and children.
I'll give him the same as we gave him last month. Like I was saying, Deacon, Earp had no call on me, none at all. But I round up some special deputies and 50 sticks of dynamite, and then what does Earp do? He blows up their cattle pens and turns all the wild steers loose. So the Big T cowhands have to quit shooting at Charlie Bassett and Bill Tillman in the depot. They got to ride half a day collecting steers. 2 Big T hands get killed and Earp creases their foreman's skull. I need my head cracked open for having anything to do with Wyatt Earp.
You didn't know how rough Earp plays it, boss. How much for Father Shevlin?
Father Shevlin, is it? The way that man keeps after me. Not a dime. Not 1 penny. More than 200.
All right. That finishes the list. Ain't you due at the city council meeting?
No. Earp wants me to vote to close this town up tight. The gall of him. Does he think the big cattle driving outfits are going to stand for that without killing him? And maybe me? By Joe, I'm in my right mind now. And if you ever see Jim Kelly give Wyatt Earp so much as the back of his hand, this whole saloon is yours, Deacon. Now you got my oath on it. All right, Sparky, open her up. Open her up wide and let them start drinking. Maybe they'll punch Marshal Earp in the nose.
Now let's get organized this time. We make our play in real Big T style. We scatter and take the back streets to Gruber's livery barn. We leave the horses there, and then we get ready to move on that Kelly.
It wasn't Kelly's fault.
What?
Earp forced him to it.
Quit your jabbering. It was both their faults. 2 of our men are dead, and Gus Andrews will be laid up for weeks. And we don't take that off on nobody.
No, that's right.
We're fixing Kelly first, and then the Big T will get Wyatt Earp. Now move. Back there. Go on.
They're not Big T men, they're just drunks.
Al, the doc will be over to patch him. Keep him locked up.
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, I'm awful sorry to keep the town council waiting.
What happened to you?
Oh, nothing too serious. One of the Big T outfits stuck his thumb in my eye, but I don't think he'll do it again. He'll be all right in a couple of days, though. But what's more important is there are drunken cowhands in the street with guns. Mr. Mayor, that ought to convince you that we need these new ordinances that I'm asking for.
I'm convinced, Wyatt. I'm not, and neither is Mr. Billings. The town council is kind of hung up. 2 votes for your new ordinances and 2 against.
Well, gentlemen, I'll tell you, it's useless to even hire a marshal if these aren't approved. Now, what are the objections, Mr. Prentice?
Well, Billings and I think 2 of them are all right, but we sure don't like the others.
Which ones do you object to? Check your guns, don't ride horses on the sidewalks or in the saloons or hotels, don't discharge firearms within the city limits, no drunkenness on the streets.
Well, we vote against number 2 and number 4.
Oh, in other words, you think it's all right to ride a horse into a saloon or hotel lobby or into a store, huh?
Well, it shouldn't be a misdemeanor, just harmless fun. Harmless fun? We've had at least 20 innocent bystanders kicked or bitten by horses. And being drunk on the streets. That's just harmless fun, too? I'm not a hypocrite. I've been tipsy on the street, and so have you, and so has Kelly.
Say, speaking of Kelly, where is Mr. Kelly? He's a 5th member of the council, isn't he?
Jim ran out on us.
What do you mean he ran out?
Well, he's sore because you got him involved in that fight last week. Says he won't vote either way. But if he did vote, he'd vote against you, Marshal. Afraid that's it.
Mr. Mayor, I'd appreciate it if you'd call another meeting for tonight. Have a little talk with Mr. Kelly.
That won't do any good. You know that. Listen, Kelly is on our side. I know.
Ace is a loser. Not too bad. Three is a winner. Two whiskeys.
Mr. Kelly, I'd like a few words with you.
Oh, what happened to you?
Oh, I caught a little thumb in the eye.
Big T. I'm sorry to hear it, but that's the only word you'll get from me. We ain't friends.
Oh, wait a minute. This is business. Both mine and yours.
I helped you once, never again. Ain't I made it clear enough? I'm asking you to keep away from me.
You know, there must be 2 Jim Kellys.
Then this one's in his right mind.
I kind of like the first Jim Kelly. It's the one that helped me put a stop to that Big T outfit from tearing this town apart about a week ago.
Then you like mush-headed idiots. Now you're talking to the real Jim Kelly. I run a saloon and a gambling hall.
Well, that's legal business, Mr. Kelly.
And I sell liquor to the Big T outfit. I didn't mean to set him up for a killing.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Bassett and Tillman shot in line of duty. It was self-defense.
Stop trying to argue with me. You got a slick poison tongue, Earp. You and your 2 Kellys. Well, I'm sick of looking at you, and I ain't gonna talk to you. And by George, if you don't get out of here...
Mr. Kelly.
Well, my duty's to defend myself. Settle the chips and close up. Gotta change this place into a fort like the Alamo. Sparky, get out the guns. Reb, put up the bars. Start piling tables in front of the doors and windows. All right, there's gonna be trouble here. Anybody who's got a shooting beef against the Big T can stay and help themselves. The rest of you, clear out.
Oh, now, think about it, Mr. Kelly. You can't stand off that many men. Marshal, this don't make sense. You get us all shot and the place burned on top of us. Can't you do something?
I can try. Sure you got your facts straight?
Yes. You can leave for the back door.
You know, this is no place to make a fight, Mr. Kelly.
Whose fight is it?
It's more mine than it is yours. Now you'd make a pretty good-looking deputy.
I'm defending myself, not helping you.
You sure you couldn't use a little help?
Not from you. I'll leave for the back door, I said. Get moving.
I sure did like that old Jim Kelly. Yes, sir. You know, he used to be a real tough sergeant in the cavalry, you know.
Just keep walking.
I kind of depended on him, too. Like all old Army men, I kind of knew his duty. Figured he'd back me in the council and put an end to all this foolishness.
I'll take what's coming.
You want to fight it out with that gang of spoiled, rotten hoodlums all by yourself, huh?
The door is open.
All right. I'll ask you just one more question. I'll ask it of the Jim Kelly that you claim to be right now. Now, what's the sense in turning your back on the law and trying alone to shoot out a hoodlum grudge?
Because I am a hoodlum. Because this is a hoodlum town. And that's the way Dodge is going to stay. The likes of you won't change it.
Well, I'm going to sure try to change it. Well, good luck to you against the Big T outfit, Mr. Councilman.
2 Jim Kellys. That young smart aleck. Hey! Who put buckshot in my gun? I want slugs! Buffalo slugs!
Howdy, Mr. Mayor.
Haven't you heard the news? The big T outfit is coming into town to shoot up Kelly's place.
Maybe.
What the stage driver saw him. 10 or 15 guns. About a half an hour out of town. Well, aren't you going to do something?
No, sir.
What?
Oh, I don't think they're going to hurt Kelly much.
Why do you say that? The big T outfit has every reason to crack down on Kelly.
Well, I think they kind of like Kelly. At least the hoodlum part of him. Anyway, they're not after him. They're after Bassett, Tillman, and me.
But Bill Tillman and Charlie Bassett aren't in town.
Yeah, I know. That leaves me.
I guess I don't know you very well, yet. But if a crowd of range stuffs was coming after me, I'd be swearing in special deputies and getting ready to blast them from every building on Front Street.
Well, I can't do that.
Why not?
Well, because of public opinion, Mr. Mayor. It's my most important weapon. If I'm going to do any good here in Dodge, I can't go around shooting people from ambush.
But you think you can afford to let Kelly get hurt and have his saloon wrecked?
Well, I think there's some kind of a trick.
Trick?
Yes, sir. Studying cowhands kept me alive in Ellsworth and Wichita. I don't think that big T outfit's going to jump me in an open fight. Now, they've already lost their 3 best men. They haven't had time yet to hire any real fast guns.
But they'll jump Kelly.
Maybe. But I don't aim to let anything too bad happen.
You're going to try and save his life? Why?
Well, because he's got the deciding vote in the council. I want his vote for those ordinances.
That's a mighty cold-blooded way to look at it.
Well, I'm in a mighty cold-blooded business. Say, did it ever occur to you that there are 2 Jim Kellys? Sir, one would sell me out, a flash of Irish temper, and the other'd weep and plant shamrocks in my grave. Pretty soon we're going to find out which Kelly comes out on top. It's going to be a pretty close fight.
I, Jim Kelly, hereby bequeath.
Hey, Deacon, come here. How's this fella Earp spell his name?
Well, Wyatt would be W-I-A-T, and I guess Earp is U-R-P. Why, boss?
Never mind. Get back on guard.
To Father Chevron, $5,000. Hoping he will pray once a week for Wyatt Earp.
Hey, Mr. Kelly. 2 big T cowmen, but they're on foot.
Macomb and Daggers. I wonder why they ain't riding with the rest of them.
Maybe they got fired.
Oh, they didn't. They're keeping an eye on me. And where's my good friend Wyatt Earp?
He offered to help.
Shut up! They'll get me and let him run out. I'll have no prayers for Wyatt Earp. Something's wrong. When the big T comes after you, they don't stall around. They come galloping down the street. They come shooting.
Maybe they're scared of Earp.
Ah, 1 marshal and 3 deputies. Might be scared if Tillman and Bassett was here. They're out in the country chasing stage robbers.
Drop your guns. Keep the rest of them covered. Take him in the back room.
What's the idea? You guys...
We're giving you your last chance.
You can't bust in on me, put guns on me, slap me around.
Keep your temper. We want Wyatt Earp.
Go over to the jail, then.
Oh, no. We're going to get him here, and you're going to help us.
You mean bushwhack Earp?
If that's what it has to be.
Oh, no. I hate his insides, but...
Listen. You want a couple of slugs in your stomach?
No. You want this place on fire and half the town with it? All right. And the first thing you do is open for business just like nothing ever happened. What is going to happen? I'll tell you all about it, Kelly. Now get it open.
Quiet. There are 8 T-brand horses at Gruber's livery stable.
Where'd the men go?
Gruber thinks they went to get something to drink.
It's a false alarm, I reckon. Now, that could be a few of them over there. You and Pete wait a couple of minutes and then go tell them to get out of town.
Shall we pass the word to Mr. Kelly?
Let him sweat.
Hey, Dick. Dick! Let Sparky sit in for you. Come here. Take it, Sparky. I ain't going through with it.
Huh?
I don't hate Earp that much.
Oh, now, think about this. You can't double-cross the Big T.
Well, it's murder they plan. You want murder on your soul?
I ain't got a soul.
All men got souls. Now, don't you never say that again.
All right, all right.
I should let him do it, Earp. If he stays in Dodge, he'll be hounding me. He'll be worse than Father Shevlin.
Now you talk like the real Jim Kelly.
Now, don't you start that. Some things even a hoodlum won't do. You go tell Earp the whole rotten scheme.
That's final?
Right.
All right. But the Big T cowhands will know you tipped him.
Not if Earp plays it smart. And I know Earp. He'll play it real smart.
He'd better. He could get us both killed.
Oh, warn him about that. Well, there ain't much time. Find a way to get over to Earp's where they won't see you.
And Pete's gonna pretend to be dead in the alley here. The rest of the Big T boys will be hiding in the back of Lukey's store at the windows here. They figure you'll come busting into the alley to examine Pete. When you do that, they'll give it to you.
I see.
Now, I think, Mr. Kelly thinks, that you should sneak into the back of the store and take them from behind. But you and your deputies got to get them all, Mr. Earp. Otherwise, they'll be after me and Kelly.
Well, thank you, Deacon. We'll try and handle it.
There won't be no slip-up.
Oh, I hope not.
Well, thanks.
So long, Deacon. And thank Mr. Kelly for me.
Marshal, this man just been shot dead in the alley.
Good evening, Mr. Kelly. Thanks for the information.
What are you doing here?
I was on my way to the alley.
No, they're laying for you. Now, Deacon said you promised to take him from behind.
Kill him, huh?
They aim to kill you.
Maybe.
No, maybe. They'll do it. Now, get out of here, by the front door.
If I do that, Mr. Kelly, why, they'll suspect you of tipping me off.
I thought you'd act sensible. You scared of a little killing?
Yep.
No. I get it. Maybe you want me and Deacon killed.
Look, I don't want anybody killed. Now, will you just get out of my way?
With one eye? You daft. You go out there and you'll be a corpse in 10 seconds.
Which Mr. Kelly are you tonight?
No, don't start that. Get out of here. By the front door. Maybe I can convince him you lost your nerve or somebody else talked.
Look, Mr. Kelly, I can't take those men from behind. Sure, I can trust myself, but I can't ask my deputies not to shoot to kill.
All right, then run.
There's been too much running by peace officers in Dodge City already.
You can't fight. The odds are too heavy.
Just stand back.
They've run. Let's get them. Keep us covered.
All right. I'll get out there and tell them to quit.
Don't shoot it. It's me, Pete. We give up.
Drop it!
I wish you'd let me shoot him.
You go on back in there. Go on.
Come on out of there.
Now, you tell your boss not to bring any more cattle into Dodge. The big T outfit isn't welcome here. Afternoon tomorrow, I'm going to shoot any in sight. You understand? All right, now pick up these two and take them to Doc McCarty's office.
Go on, move. And you know what? I'm a ruined man. Ruined. You told the big T they can't come into Dodge. Do you know what that means? They got a drive payoff of $30,000, and I used to get a third of it.
So you lose $10,000.
But that ain't the main thing. You cornered me. You shoved me over to your side. I'll be known as Trader Kelly, the man who turned against his customers to help the law.
That's right.
None of the big cattle outfits will come into my place. I might just as well close up and prepare to leave this world.
Well, now you're exaggerating a bit.
Well, the big T knows I double-crossed them and pulled a gun on their boys. You think they'll let me get away with that?
Why, sure.
They will not. I'll be gunned on the streets.
Well, I don't think so.
You got the sheer gall to deny that. Why?
Well, I'll tell you, because you'll be known as a great personal friend of mine.
Friend, is it? Never.
They gun you, I'll gun them. Why, Texas won't be big enough to hold them.
I suppose you'd even follow them into Mexico.
Why, sure, if need be.
This is a trick. You're working on my Irish heart. Friend, you don't even like me.
Well, sure I like you. That Jim Kelly I saw tonight was a brave man.
I'll turn on you. I'll stab you in the back.
That might be. The old Jim Kelly might come back again.
Don't bet against it. Well, I had my say fair and square. But don't ask me to shake hands, because I won't. We can't never be friends, and that's the honest truth.
Well, if you say so, Mr. Kelly.
And one more thing, and you get it straight. Don't you dog me and hound me. I won't have any sanctimonious John Law trailing after me for help.
Of course not. Before you go, Mr. Kelly, how are you going to vote on those new ordinances? You know, you're the only holdout.
And I always will be. Give me a piece of chalk.
Right there in the tray.
I vote yes. James Kelly.
I vote yes. James Kelly. Gives me a majority of one vote. Well, thank you, Mr. Kelly. And good night to you.
He cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told. Long may his story be told. Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.
Cowhands on a hoorah weren't the only troublemakers in Dodge City when Wyatt Earp was marshal. There were tough buffalo hunters who went on sprees in Dodge. And there were the railroad construction gangs of the Santa Fe who tried to make good their boast that Dodge was hell on wheels. In 1876, these two groups of hoodlums fought each other for possession of the dance hall run by Dora Hand, the queen of Dodge City's nightlife. Dora Hand, a beautiful and mysterious young woman who was a legend in her own lifetime. Men shot or maimed one another in fights over Dora and the girls of her dance hall.
Come on, now, Jim. Right there. Go in there. Come on. Why'd you do that? Stop it! The fight's over.
Take it easy. Now, what's all this about?
It was just an argument, Marshal. There's no need to arrest them. They'll behave.
Take them both to jail, Hal. Come on. Now, look, Miss Dora, this is the third fight you've had in her since noon.
Sam, drinks on the house. Marshal. I would have broken it up. The men listened to me.
Well, Miss Dora, that buffalo hunter would have cut him to ribbons.
Well, the railroad man started it.
Look, you've got a rough mixture here. Buffalo hunters and railroad men. You're going to have to make up your mind to bar one crowd or the other.
That's not easy, Marshal. What about the cowhands and the soldiers? No, what I need are bigger and braver barkeeps. They'll stop all the rough stuff.
Miss Dora, that isn't going to work either.
Why, there've always been fights on this side of the line. When men drink and argue about women, there are bound to be fights.
Not with knives and guns, they're not going to fight.
What's this leading to, Marshal? You plan to close me.
I sure don't want to, Miss Dora, but...
Keep out of this.
I only want to make a suggestion to Marshal Earp. I'll just say in your report that the hoorah was at my place. That way she won't get mentioned in the papers.
No, keep out of it. Mr. Kelly is in one of his gallant moods this evening. I handle my own beefs, Kelly.
You hit one of them on the head with a whiskey bottle. Is that ladylike?
I told you can never make a lady out of me. What'd you do to Jim? Are you a hypnotist or something?
No, ma'am.
Earp ain't any friend of mine.
Don't try to string me. Earp's got you acting respectable. Councilman Kelly, they call him, the law and order man. Well, this is between us. You can say I'm a public nuisance and close me, I guess.
Oh, no.
Oh, shut up. Well, what's the verdict, Marshal?
Well, Miss Dora, I could sign an extra deputy here for a few days.
Yeah, good idea.
Oh, it's not a good idea at all. The Buffalo men will say you're siding in with the Santa Fe crowd, and the Santa Fe crowd will tell Major Paxton that you're favoring the Buffalo men.
Well, what do you suggest?
Well, I suggest... Why don't you let me talk to all the men? If they know that you're threatening to close me, they'll stop all the rough stuff.
All right, ma'am, you're entitled to that chance. Good evening.
Thank you, Marshal.
Now, Dora...
Oh, shut up, Kelly.
Earp, wait for me. I want to talk to you.
I thought you wanted to talk to me.
Well, I do. But not as a friend, mind you.
All right.
Don't get any wrong ideas about Miss Dora and me. She considers herself too good to marry a saloon keeper. By George, she's right.
Yes, sir.
You don't know Miss Dora. All you see is a dance hall owner and jump to conclusions.
Well, I've jumped a lot of times, Mr. Kelly, but never to a conclusion.
You might as well know the truth fair and square. I'm on Miss Dora's side.
You in love with him?
That's none of your business. Well, we hired you to keep law and order in this town, not to go sticking your nose into personal matters.
All right, Mr. Kelly. I'll have to tell you the truth, fair and square.
What truth?
Well, I can't keep Sunday school order in this part of town. I'd be a fool to even try, but I do draw the line at knifing and shooting. Well, if Miss Dora can't control her customers, she's just going to have to close.
Close her? Over my dead body.
She'll still have to close.
Earp, I had you right in the first place. You're nothing but a stupid, sanctimonious John Law. Now, let me tell you...
Hold it, Kelly. Don't get tough with the marshal. Let Major Paxton handle him.
Who's Major Paxton?
He's boss of construction for the Santa Fe, that's who.
Fine man, Paxton. I'll stand you all around the drinks on it.
You drink to the railroad, Mr. Earp?
I'm sorry, I don't drink. You can also tell Major Paxton I don't handle easy either.
Double round of drinks. Free.
All right. All right, we'll have a nice peaceable shindig.
Yeah.
Here's to Miss Dora, the Daisy Bell of Kansas.
To Miss Dora.
And we don't want any more dirty buffalo hunters causing trouble. We're going over to her place and we're going to throw them out. It'll be for railroad men only.
Whoa, now, Fred, whoa.
Do you see that, Kelly? It's a lantern. We're going to hang it on the door. And that will mean that Dora's place is for railroad men only. Drinking to that, Kelly?
Well, sure. We'll all drink to that. Then on the house.
On the house. On the house.
Yes, sir, this is Santa Fe night in Jim Kelly's. Any more railroad men in the house? Well, 2 more. Step right up here. Up here, I'm buying you a drink. Belly up. Belly up.
Better get over to the El Hammer right away. There's been a crime committed. Kelly's? What is it, a barroom brawl? Worse than that.
All right, put this one in the back room, too. Easy. Nice and gentle now. I don't want a bruise or a mark on him.
What happened, Mr. Kelly?
Bad liquor. They got it at Chalk Beeson's place across the street. What he uses in his whiskey, I'll never know.
Put him down, Mr. Kelly.
Well, it's just some bad liquor.
Never mind. Holy smoke. Chloral hydrate. Anybody else besides these 3 men get Mickey Fins?
Marshal, I swear it wasn't.
I thought you were smarter than this.
I had to do it.
Why?
They were going over to Miss Dora's to pick a fight with the buffalo hunters.
Did you know that knockout drops can kill a man? It's poisonous.
They're railroad men. You couldn't kill a railroad man with a Mickey Finn.
Chloral hydrate is a deadly poison. I had to charge you with attempted murder.
Charge me.
Here I thought the old Jim Kelly was dead. That you'd put an end to all this hoodlum stuff.
Come on, lock me up.
Don't you even stop to think? Grogan and Humpy put on a dance hall fight. Now you spread that route to all the buffalo hunters and all the railroad men.
Well, I done it for her.
Dance hall girl and a pretty face.
Now you stop right there. She's a ministering angel, that's what she is.
She's what?
You go over to Reverend Hawkett's church in the morning and... No, never mind. Come on, lock me up.
Never mind. We'll do that later. I'm going to send Doc McCarty over here to take care of these men. You pay the doc, and you just better hope they all wake up by tomorrow morning.
And I'm no prude, Marshal. I expect my men to get drunk and chase dance hall girls. But I can't let it interfere with their work for the railroad. We're pushing iron. 2 to 4 miles of track a day.
Yes, sir.
It's a pretty kettle of fish. Grogan, my top boss in the spike crew, laid up with a fractured skull. 7 terriers, groggy from drugged liquor. Do you think the railroad's going to stand for this?
Well, your men kind of asked for trouble, Major Paxton.
Are you defending this Dora hand? Am I to infer...
No, sir.
I'm not taking sides with Miss Dora or Mr. Kelly. I think we may be doing them both an injustice.
Injustice? Great Scott, this hand woman has given me more trouble than all the other dance hall operators combined. I didn't come here to argue. I demand that you close this woman's place. Run her out of Dodge.
Well, if I decide that's the way to handle it, I'll do it.
How long do you think it'll take you to make up your mind?
Not long, Major.
I'll give you until tomorrow. After that, the railroad will take it to the town council.
Well, tomorrow will be time enough.
Good.
There's just one little thing that bothers me.
Yeah?
The blanket camps outside of town are full of buffalo men. You got a big crew driving track. I think I can calm down the buffalo men. I used to be a hide hunter myself, but what about your crew?
They'll be busy in the railroad.
We'll see that they stay that way, otherwise we may have a little fight on our hands.
You going out to those buffalo camps now?
Later. Gotta go to church first.
He kindly lie amid the encircling gloom. Lead thou me on. The night is dark, and I am far from home. Lead thou me on. Keep thou my feet. I do not ask to see the distant scene. One step enough for me.
Very good, Miss Hand. Now then, we'll try the recessional hymn.
I'm afraid you'll have to excuse me. I promised Reverend Halkett to take up a collection for him.
Oh, yes, I've forgotten. Another choir practice Saturday?
Yes, I'll be here. Good day to you all. Good day.
Good day. We'll go right to the recessional hymn. Page 119.
Well, say it.
Say what?
That I'm on the wrong side of town, that I shouldn't dast enter a church.
Well, I couldn't very well say that, Miss Doyle. After all, they let me in church, too. Mr. Kelly got mad and told me I should talk to the Reverend Halkett about you.
Kelly.
He also called you a ministering angel.
Blarney. Sure, I kicked in some money to help build the church, but so did every place else in town. The Reverend Halkett asked me to join the choir because I sing a little bit better than the rest.
Well, you have a very nice voice.
This has nothing to do with whether you're going to close my dance hall or not. Are you?
Did you talk to the men?
Yes, I talked to them. They all promised they'd stop all the rough stuff. But to be honest with you, Mr. Earp, I don't believe it.
Well, that's bad news.
Lots of people will get hurt.
Including you.
You don't have to worry about me. I'll take care of myself.
I like you, Miss Doyle.
And you like Jim Kelly. It's foolish of you, Mr. Earp. Liking us is going to get you into lots of trouble. So much trouble, you'll have to leave Dodge.
Well, I don't need anybody's help to get me into trouble.
Here it comes.
Excuse me. Wyatt, a whole section gang's gone down to that blanket camp. They say they're going to run those buffalo hunters right out of Kansas.
Guess I better saddle up. Excuse me, ma'am.
Watch yourself, Marshal. They're a pretty tough lot.
Railroad man! Jimmy! Okay, get up. Tear it down! All right, stack it up over here. Bring the camp down. Camp. Hold it.
You're mighty late, ain't you, Herb?
Yeah, I guess I am. Another one of your gang just burned out a buffalo camp a mile down the road.
But we're in plenty of time to make you pay for the damages, and I want your hands to come up, and I want them to come up empty.
Put him up, way up.
All right, Mr. Fromm, you claim there was about $750 worth of damage, huh? They burn any rifles?
Yeah. 2 Sharps and a Winchester.
That's about $150 more. I'll take care of this.
You better take care of it. My whole ballast crew pulled off of the job. We're a mile and a half behind schedule.
Don't lecture me.
What was that?
I don't want any railroad big talk. Your men were caught dead to rights. They raided and burned a hide hunter's camp, and the damage is $900.
The railroad won't pay a cent.
And they stay in jail.
You had no right to arrest them. You're a town marshal.
I'm also a United States deputy marshal. If I were you, I'd get that money and get it fast. And I'll try and talk the buffalo hunters out of making their own raid.
Are you threatening the railroad?
I don't waste my time, Major. If you don't have that money in 2 hours, I won't even try and stop. Now, who do you think you're fooling with? Those buffalo hunters are tougher man for man than any cowhands you ever heard of.
What do you think they'll do?
Probably chase your crews off the rack. Tear up about 5 miles of track. That'd be my guess.
It's all your fault.
Oh?
I asked you to run that woman out of town. That fancy Belle Dora hand.
She had nothing to do with it. Well, you're wasting your time, Major.
All right. I'll get the money. But it's blackmail.
You want to repeat that?
No. I guess not. Sorry. Marshal, a barkeep brought a message from Miss Dora. Wants to see you right away. Says it's very important.
Yeah, all right.
And don't try to soft-soap me. You got me into this mess, you and your Mickey Finn. And don't say that you did it to keep the fighting out of my place. You did it for Earp.
Earp? I don't even like him.
Oh, yes, you do. And he likes you. He told me so.
Yeah? Since when did you and Earp get so friendly?
Don't change the subject. The subject is that those hide hunters, you know what they're aiming to do to the railroad men.
Yeah, I ain't admitting that.
Better admit it.
Dora? Now, Dora?
Earp's coming here. I sent for him, and you better tell him the truth because I'm tired of your hoodlum shenanigans.
I'm a hoodlum? Just look who's talking.
Howdy, folks.
Howdy, Mr. Earp. Miss Dora was showing me the statue. Just feel the weight of it.
It's, quite handsome.
All right, Kelly. Tell Mr. Earp.
Tell him what?
The buffalo hunters are aiming to get even with the railroad crew for wrecking their camp. Jim knows all about it.
I'm keeping you out of this. There's no call for you to get in the middle between them buffalo hunters and the railroad.
You see, he wants to be your friend, but he's such a hoodlum, he doesn't know how.
All right, I'm a hoodlum, and you're a lady.
It's an odd term.
What's an odd turn?
Well, what I mean, Mr. Kelly, is that you can't keep a peace officer out of trouble. That's what he gets paid for.
If he knows the right cards, he's got a better chance.
I'd have no chance at all.
Major Paxson offered to pay the damages. Won't that calm the boys down?
No, it's too late for damages.
All right. Well, who's leading them and where can I find them? At your place?
Tell him, Jim, or I'll never even think about marrying you.
Dora!
Well, Mr. Earp, we were going to give up this sort of life, together, both of us. But every time the chips are down, it's that old hoodlum Kelly. Well, I'm quitting the church. I'm never going to go inside there again.
No, Dora, no. I'll tell.
Don't touch me.
The buffalo hunters left for the end of the track about an hour ago.
With guns? They aim to bushwhack the Santa Fe, huh?
No, plain stand-up fight. Now, don't go out there. It'd be like riding between the Federals and the Johnny Rebs.
He's right, Mr. Earp. We thought it was just going to be a sneak raid.
If Major Paxson offered to pay the damages, those fellas start shooting, they'll wind up in jail. I'll see you all later.
Well, you told him, Kelly.
I hope you're satisfied. I know what I'm going to do.
gun! Hunters, the buffalo hunters! Break the cover! Get the gun!
Told you, there's no way between them or behind them.
I got the money. What do they want?
Give me the money, Major.
Use your head. Don't try to go between them. They'll cut you down.
Maybe not.
Hey, Buffalo Man, I got your money. The railroad paid the damages. How'd you fire?
Get back, Wyatt. It's too late for talking.
Go back, Miss Dora! Go back!
That is Miss Dora. Hold your fire.
Quit shooting, you'll hit Miss Dora.
You ain't hurt, Miss Dora.
No, I'm not, but it's a small wonder. You idiots out here shooting at each other in a darn fool row. Put down your guns, all of you, or you'll never get a welcome again from me or my girls, and I mean it.
Look, the railroad paid your damages, $900.
It ain't enough, Wyatt.
Well, that's all you're going to get. Now, if you men hang around here with guns, the railroad's going to start the soldiers after you. You buffalo hunters haven't changed a bit from the days I was a hide hunter. You're all still stubborn and cantankerous.
Well, that settles it. Unless you behave yourselves, no more buffalo men welcome in my dance hall.
Oh, we take the deal, Miss Dora, and we behave, don't we, boys?
Yeah, we agree to that, don't we, fellas? Yeah, we agree. No more fighting.
Now, you can take this to the city council. That's your privilege. But what Miss Dora Hand did this afternoon more than makes up for any trouble that was caused at her place. Now, I'll argue against closing her. Jim Kelly controls the majority vote in the council.
Well, I guess you're right. No hard feelings?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Quite a woman, isn't she?
Can I tell her that it's coming from you?
Great Scott, no. I'm a happily married man.
Evening, Miss Dora.
Oh, howdy.
Did you have your talk with Reverend Hawkins?
He wants me to stay on in the choir. The women are raising such Ned. I've caused enough trouble already. Foolish notion. Me in a church.
Now, wait a minute. What is the church for except for good people and sinners? I'm going back in there and tell them what it is.
Whoa, Marshal. Love thy neighbor. Be good to them that hate you, remember?
Don't smile. You don't feel like smiling?
No, I don't. You were about to say...
I was about to say that in this town of women, you're a great lady.
Thank you.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.
all right.
Well, Mr. Allison, have you thought it over?
Sure. I'll kill him for you.
Good. I want to keep Dodge a wide open town. If this Earp isn't taken care of, he'll ruin business. If the man does me a favor this big,
Now, you get out of here. I ain't killing Wyatt Earp for money. I got other reasons. My own reasons.
Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold.
The Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp, starring Hugh O'Brien. Clay Allison was probably the most dangerous of all the killers who challenged Wyatt Earp's authority as Marshal of Dodge City in 1876. Modern doctors would diagnose Allison as an alcoholic psychopath, but to the men of the western frontier, his character was baffling. Only a rough and ready psychologist like Wyatt Earp stood any chance in personal conflict with Allison. And for Marshal Earp, there was the deadly risk of guessing wrong.
Clay Allison's on his way into town. He's coming to gun Marshal Earp.
You go warn Miss Dora. I'll find her. Wyatt. It's a private, Hal. Got to excuse us.
Sure, Mr. Kelly.
Well, you look all out of breath.
We may both be out of breath. Permanent.
When are you looking for that to happen?
Remember my telling you I suspected Pete Albright of setting a price on your head? Well, I was right. He's hired Clay Allison. Clay Allison.
You sure?
Yep.
Mr. Allison in town?
Not yet, but maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Now, don't try any smart aleck stuff with Allison. Just go down to Front Street and shoot him off his horse. Clay'll know I warned you. It's my skin I'm thinking of.
You see, you let a good impulse overpower you again.
Impulse nothing. Everybody's got the fool idea I'm a friend of yours. And they'll tell Clay Allison that. Well, what are you going to do?
Well, how well do you know Mr. Allison?
Too well. I got drunk with him a couple of times when I was in the Army. It's a miracle he didn't blow my head off.
Why didn't he?
I was on furlough and I didn't pack a gun. And Allison didn't reach a killing edge. When he drinks, he's got to get a real edge on before he kills. Well, now get started for Front Street, unless you're scared.
Sit down, Mr. Kelly.
What? Sit down? Well, man, you got no time to sit down.
Just sit down, Mr. Kelly, and tell me about Mr. Allison. Now, if he's going to come gunning for me, I better know a little bit about him. Maybe your life will depend on it.
Hey, mister.
Yeah?
You better step inside. There's word that Clay Allison's on his way here.
That's all.
Yeah.
Jim Kelly's place, huh?
Yeah, but he ain't here. He went to warn Marshal Earp about Allison.
I did. I reckon I'll step out of the sun while I wait.
Yeah, you do that, mister. The guns, mister. It's town law to check them on that rack yonder.
All right. Give me some whiskey.
All right, sir.
Oh, and I might add, I'm an old friend of Kelly's.
Oh, no friend of Kelly's, huh? Well, that makes a difference. Must have been before Kelly come to Dodge.
That's right. Jim was in the Army.
Oh, in the Army?
That smells like pretty fair whiskey.
It's out of Mr. Kelly's own bottle, mister. I got standing orders. Any friend of his is a friend of... Did I miss hearing your name?
Jim knows me.
Oh. Now, come on, or are you just stalling?
One more question, Mr. Kelly. What does Mr. Allison worry about?
Well,
Our drinkers usually worry about something. Does he ever mention the men that he's killed, or talk about the fight, or try and defend the killing?
Allison? What silly talk. Why should he bother his head about it? No, the only thing I ever heard him worry about was these cartridges.
Cartridges?
He don't use factory loads. Does all his own loading, just to make sure he don't have a misfire. Well, that's enough, Jabber. You're scared of Allison.
Yes, I am.
In solemn truth? You're gonna hunch a hole? I don't understand you, Wyatt.
Look, I'm trying to understand the reasoning of this man, Allison. Well, he's afraid, so he drinks to kill his fear. The drink gives him courage to do the killing. So he winds up being hostile towards everybody. I think I'm beginning to see what makes him tick. I just hope I can handle him.
Wyatt, Clay Allison's in town.
Where?
Mr. Kelly's saloon.
I knew it. He'll think I'm your friend and shoot me down.
Marshal Earp, Clay Allison wants to see you at the Alhambra saloon.
You tell him I'll be down in a half hour or so. I haven't had my dinner yet.
Clay ain't gonna like being kept waiting.
In a half hour, tell him.
I thought you were gonna run. Wish there was something I could do to help you.
Oh, there is. You can encourage Mr. Allison to get drunk in a hurry.
You want him to reach a killing edge real quick?
You tell him I said that, will you?
Never doubt it. I'll tell him. And the sooner he gets rid of you, the better I'll feel. Well, howdy, Clay. Haven't seen you in ages.
Howdy, Jim. Hey, you always did have decent manners.
Well, the man I like, sure. Hold that. I'll join you. Soapy. Yes, sir.
This is right fine whiskey, Jim.
Is this my bottle? Yes, sir. Then you got the best. Well, Clay, here's to old times.
Old times. Yeah, you're real polite, Jim. Tell me, why don't you teach Wyatt Earp some manners?
How's that?
Well, I sent him word I wanted to see him, talk to him. He sent back a message that I'd have to wait until he ate dinner. That's kind of rude, I'd say.
Forget it and drink up.
No. Where does Earp generally have dinner, Jim?
One place or another.
I'll find him.
Clay, what's your complaint against Earp?
No complaint, Jim. I just want to find out if he's as brave as his friends brag. I'll see you after a while.
Sure, Clay. Soapy? Yes, sir. How many did he have? 2. Just 2? Would he go against Earp cold sober? Time will tell.
Pardon me, mister. You're supposed to check those guns. That's Marshal Earp over there.
All right. So that's Wyatt Earp, huh? The great Wyatt Earp. I've been wanting to talk to him. Mr. Earp, my name's Allison, Clay Allison.
Oh, glad to know you, Mr. Allison. Did you get my message?
Yeah? I told Jim Kelly you didn't have decent manners. Then maybe I'm being rude, disturbing a man at his victuals, huh?
Well, you're not disturbing me. Sit down.
Thanks.
You, want to talk to me about something?
Yeah. There's been a lot of mean gossip about me.
Oh?
You may hear it. They say I take money for gunning a man.
Oh, I've heard stories like that.
Well, they ain't true. Any fights I ever been in, money had nothing to do with them.
I believe that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Say, what make of these?
No make. I load my own.
You do?
It's a mighty fine job. You set the primer absolutely flush, huh? You know, I had to stop hand loading because I used to set a bumpy primer. The thing would hang up in the cylinder.
You must be clumsy with tools.
All thumbs. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of forgetful, too. Once I double-loaded a shell and almost broke my wrist when the gun went off.
Well, I never forget. My memory's perfect. I'd rather trust it than some factory loader.
Well, if a man's got a perfect memory and if he doesn't drink, why, it's smart to use hand loads.
What's drinking got to do with it?
Well, they say it's kind of rough on the brain. If it's kept up too long.
I've heard all that doctor talk. Injures a man's recollection, they say. But I never hand load when I drink. And I've never had a shell misfire on me.
Hmm? Well, you're mighty lucky, Mr. Allison. Hope you never do.
Are you a betting man?
Well, I've been known to sometimes.
Got about 100 cartridges on me. I'll let you load my guns, picking shells out of the 100. And I'll bet you 20 to 1 they all fire. I'll make it 30 to 1. You game to bet?
Yeah, all right. Why don't you strap on your guns? We'll go out back to the livery stable.
Good.
Oh, now, don't you worry, Miss Jean. We'll be careful. Miss Jean's kind of afraid of guns.
Oh?
There you are, Mr. Allison. All fresh loads.
Thank you, Mr. Earp.
30 to 1, you don't have a misfire, huh?
That's right.
Why don't you just cut down on those tin cans over there?
There, you see? My guns never misfire. Pay me.
Well, that's real fine shooting, Mr. Allison. $1.
Thank you. Come on over to Jim Kelly's. I'll buy you a drink.
Well, I appreciate the offer, but I don't drink. I'll see you around, though.
Sure. Well, where you been?
Waiting to talk to you, in private. I heard a couple of shots. I thought maybe you...
Not yet, Albright. In my own time.
I got the men I promised to back you.
Where?
They're lounging around over at my store. I also got the money.
Didn't you hear what I said the other day?
Don't get sore. I thought maybe you changed your mind.
No. I just finished denying to Earp that dirty gossip.
All right, all right.
It ain't all right. You started that talk about paying me.
No, Clay, no! No!
2 misfires. Forgot to reload my guns. Get on your feet.
That's just a joke, huh, Clay?
Yeah, sure, just a joke. It's the first time I ever forgot to reload after firing my guns. Earp did it. Him and his jabber about my memory talked me into forgetting. It's another reason to kill him. A John Law acting smart aleck with me.
Well, reload it and go get him.
No. I'll have me one drink first.
Kelly.
Hey.
Sure, Clay.
I got smallpox. Sit down, my dear old friend.
Well, hold it. You're almost out of liquor.
Never mind. Just sit down. I want you to know that I don't like your choice of new friends. And I mean Wyatt Earp.
He's no friend of mine.
You are a liar, Kelly. You warned him I was coming to town. You've been trying to make me drunk.
You are drunk, and don't call me a liar.
Keep your fist to yourself and sit down. It's better. Did you see that draw? Now look at his gun barrel. Not a quiver. And steady on your belly, Kelly. Not like that. Steady on your belly, Kelly. It ought to be a song.
You're not fuzzy drunk yet. You're just mean drunk.
That's right. My cartridges are all fired. I proved that to Earp. There, you see? The gun went off, didn't it? I got your man right where I wanted to get him. I feel fast but steady. You see any chance for Earp?
Not much. Nope.
Honest, Jim Kelly, you made the right answer. You know I like you, Kelly. That's why you ain't dead. But I don't like Earp. He thinks he's too brave. Quiet, my friend. Where you been? You said I'd see you around.
Who fired that shot in there?
Oh, the barkeep started for a gun. I didn't hurt him much. I just creased his hand. Ask Jim Kelly.
I will.
I'll be all right in a second, Wyatt. It's just liquor makes me dizzy. I took too much, I reckon. Oh, Wyatt. You know, I don't feel very good, Wyatt. I think I'll go into the alley.
Yeah, you do that, Mr. Allison.
Where's Allison?
Went around in the alley to drink himself some more courage.
Well, take this and cut him in two.
No. Mr. Allison's only got a couple of six-shooters.
Well, go after him. He winged Soapy and threatened to kill me. Well, what are you stalling for now?
I don't want to have to kill him, Mr. Kelly.
Well, why not?
Will you just take it easy?
Easy, he says. Clay Allison at the killing edge, and he takes it easy. Well, now, you can't hide in here. The whole town's watching you and Clay.
Yeah, and they're all just blind stupid like you are.
Oh, they are they?
Look, I had the drop on Mr. Allison out there. I could have buffaloed him over the head or shot him.
Then why didn't you?
Because he's crazy. Drunk crazy. I want to give him one more chance.
To kill you?
Maybe. But I'm hoping he'll just get so drunk he'll quit. Well, we may have to shoot it out. I'm not saying it won't end that way. But I thought at least you'd have enough sense to understand.
Man waiting to get killed's easy to figure. You're tired of living.
Oh, look, Mr. Kelly, listen to me, will you?
Huh? There's nothing wrong with my eyes.
Yeah, you can do the job.
Here. Hold it waist high. It's pretty fast, huh?
Plenty fast.
Yeah. Wyatt Earp trying to worry me about my cartridges. Any man stooped to a trick like that is just plain yellow.
He's hiding in Kelly's saloon.
I'll get him out of there. But how do I know his deputies won't gun me in the back?
Take a look at my store. There's a dozen men in there willing to back you up.
I'll tell you something, Albright. I don't need 'em. You go fetch my horse. I kill a marshal, I want to get out of town quick. Hey, you Johnny Laws. You go tell Earp to quit hiding. Tell him to come out here and make his fight.
The worst thing a marshal can do is to kill a man, no? Sure, you may think he deserves it, but his relatives and friends don't. That's why Billy Brooks and John Allen had to leave Dodge City. They found themselves ringed with enemies.
Yeah.
And the low-downest thing a man can do is to make gunplay against drunks. If the drunk dies, why, well, they say you took advantage of him. If you die, they...
Quiet.
If you die, why, you're considered mighty poor to get killed by a drunk. Yeah.
Clay's yelling for you to come make your fight.
Now, where?
It's outside Albright's store. I think there's about a dozen cowhands inside. I believe they got the guns with them.
All right.
Well, shouldn't me and the boys take the guns away from those cowhands first?
No, you just stay where I told you. I'll be out there directly.
Okay.
Why don't you get just too drunk and fall over?
He's had his chance.
Yeah, I guess so.
Kill him.
Afraid I'm gonna have to.
Time off. Come on out of your hole, Earp. I ain't waiting all day.
Mr. Allison, I don't want you to depend on my habit of only wounding a man.
You ain't scaring me. Well, go ahead. Draw. Draw!
It's your move.
What's the matter, Albright? What are you scared of? You offered me $1,000 to gun him. You promised plenty of men to back me up. Well, there's Earp and there's his deputies. You want me to take them on all by myself?
All over.
Look out, he's coming.
You may have to drop. Watch Albright's men.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told. Long may his story be
story be told.
You couldn't tame a town like Dodge City, Kansas in 1876 by preaching the Golden Rule alone. If Dodge was to be civilized, the only argument was a fast gun or hard fists. Marshal Wyatt Earp knew this from bloody experience, and Marshal Earp should have known that his enemies were still out to get him, by assassination or by so discrediting him that he would have to quit.
Dear Margaret, it's happened. I have fallen in love. His name is Wyatt Earp, and he's the marshal here in Dodge City. Dodge City of all places. But that's why I know it's real. Dodge is very real. There's nothing but dust and the hot Kansas sun and...
Hear that, Earp? Why don't you try to stop me from celebrating? Where's this big man? Look out, Driscoll, it's Earp!
Wyatt, are you hurt?
It was Fabian. No, ma'am, I'm not hurt at all, thanks.
But he is. Did you shoot him?
Oh, no, ma'am. I just hit Mr. Driscoll over the head. A bit.
Oh, but he's bleeding.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Sullivan, would you take Mr. Driscoll to jail, please?
But Wyatt, shouldn't he have a doctor?
And send for Doc McCarty.
I'm sorry, Mr. Earp.
Forget it.
Miss Fabian, you don't belong here.
Oh, but I was afraid that...
The judge isn't going to like this. You made yourself kind of prominent.
I embarrassed you. I'm sorry.
Well, it isn't that. It's just that you shouldn't rush out when you hear gunfire. You might get yourself hurt.
Would that bother you?
Yes, ma'am, it sure would. To say nothing about how your father'd feel.
Don't tell me you're afraid of my father. Or of public opinion.
Look, Miss Sally, this is Dodge City. Like I've been trying to tell you for a week, it's a rough town. Mr. Driscoll was drunk, carrying guns in the street. They were loaded with real bullets.
All right. Once more, I'm sorry.
Will you promise me not to rush out of the hotel when you hear gunfire?
All right. Why don't you come in and talk to me?
Well, I'd like nothing better, but I can't right now.
Why not?
Well, you see, Mr. Driscoll's a friend of Mr. Rakel, and they were drinking together, and I gotta go find Mr. Rakel before he cuts loose.
I didn't dream life in a little western town could be so simple-minded.
Well, you get your father to tell you how simple-minded drunks and gunslingers can be.
No, you explain it to me. In half an hour?
I'll be back in 30 minutes.
I'll be waiting then.
Where's Mr. Rakel?
The Long Branch Saloon, picking a fight with the dealer.
Hey, let's go.
You and the teachers at Miss Finchley's won't believe me, but I've just returned from a street fight. My dear Wyatt had to hit a drunken man on the head with a pistol. He is still Miss Sallying me, but this time he called me Miss Fabian, so I mustn't...
Help! 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 That man is drunk! Don't let him kill me!
You bet I'll kill... Stand aside, you tin-horn Johnny Law. I'm gonna teach this little runt.
You're under arrest, Mr. Rakel.
You can't arrest me, Earp. This town belongs to the Rakel and the Driscoll outfit.
Not anymore.
Why, Mr. Rakel? Well, my old friend Judge Fabian. Judge, tell this young hoodlum
Lock him up.
Oh, one moment, Earp. I'm well acquainted with Mr. Rakel.
I'm sorry, Judge, but he pulled a gun on this man.
Oh, now, Mr. Rakel...
I said lock him up.
I'm sure the judge doesn't want to argue this case in the street.
Anything I can do to help, Judge?
Yes, Mr. Albright. try to talk some sense into that young hothead.
I'll take care of it right away, Your Honor.
Why, Papa. You look angry.
Oh, it's that young Marshall fellow, Herb. He had the cheek to arrest Bob Rakel.
Who's Mr. Rakel?
Why, he and Toby Driscoll have the two largest cattle spreads anywhere. Both fine men. Fine men.
And they're both in jail.
What?
Well, Wyatt arrested Mr. Driscoll about 10 minutes ago. He was drunk and shooting guns in the street.
Oh, no. Toby and Bob do $1 million worth of business in a year. Did I hear you call that fellow Wyatt?
Yes.
Since when are you on first-name terms with Mr. Earp?
I've been seeing him, Papa. Every chance I can get.
You and Earp?
I'm in love with him. I intend to marry Wyatt if he'll have me.
If he'll... I think we'd best talk about this later.
Let's talk about it right now.
Well, I've got to go to the jail.
Papa, Wyatt hasn't asked me, so don't blame him. Or at least, well, I do have some pride.
I've always been patient with you.
Toby, what are you doing in here?
Same as you, I reckon. But you'll never make this stick, Wyatt.
Look, you were drinking and shooting guns in the street, and that'll stick.
Oh, no, you don't, Herb. Turn them both loose. That's an order.
From who?
From Judge Fabian.
He hasn't heard the evidence yet.
Now, you wait a minute.
You get in there, too. Listen to you in court.
By that time, you won't be in any shape to listen.
Well, if you want to bring your men in, try it. Albright tried it. He offered Clay Allison $1,000 to gun me. You know, the trouble with you big pistols is you turn into pop guns every time a fight's off it. Well, you'll have to stay here and watch him. But you better get some cotton to plug your ears.
Judge, what's on your mind?
Well, I started to the jail to talk to Earp, but for personal reasons, I decided not to.
No use talking to him.
With George Hoover away, you're acting mayor. Yep. Well, can't you persuade Earp to release Bob and Toby?
No, sir. He threw Pete Albright in the same cell.
Albright, eh? It won't do, Mr. Kelly. You realize that, don't you?
Well...
Earp has to release those men. If he doesn't, he'll have both the Rakel and the Driscoll outfits treeing the town. Doesn't the young fool have any respect for his own life?
None at all. He'll never make old bones.
And that's satisfactory to you, huh?
Listen, I ain't had a moment's peace since Earp got here. He's near got me killed 4 times. The finest funeral I'd pay for him.
You sound sincere.
I am that, on oath.
Then why not discharge the man? Isn't that the simplest way out?
No, sir.
Huh?
He's like my own conscience, Judge. Bedeviling me day and night. A man can't discharge his own conscience.
You rate Mr. Earp rather high.
The bravest and the best, sir. I hate him, and I envy him.
You gonna back him in this play?
I've no choice. And neither of you, Judge. What, Lord save us all, the man's right.
My daughter seems to agree with you.
Yes. And you talk to Wyatt about that. It's a father's duty.
Well, a young man with the character you give
And
him.
he'll die young. So he's no business leaving your Miss Sally a widow.
I agree with you. And I will talk to him.
Oh, good for you, Judge.
You Rako's men? I'm Toby Driscoll's foreman.
Oh, yeah, you're big rants, aren't you?
Wyatt Earp threw both Driscoll and Rakel in jail.
Threw them both in jail for what?
Getting a little drunk. Us Driscolls aim to go after Earp. How about you?
Well, I don't know. He's pretty fast on the draw.
Gunning's too good for him. We got other plans. Tell you about it on the way to Dodge.
All right. Come on, boys. Let's ride.
Just 1 second, sir. Wyatt, Judge Fabian to see you.
No, thank you, Hal. Sit down, sir.
Thank you. I came to see you on a personal matter.
Look, sir, if it's about Driscoll and the
No. I will find them in court tomorrow morning.
Well, thank you, sir. You see, it's sort of a test case. We can't afford to treat the cattle owners any different than the hired hands. You see...
Quite so. My daughter tells me that she's been seeing you, socially.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Earp, you're in a dangerous profession.
Yes, sir.
I don't think Sally understands just how dangerous it is.
Well, I sure tried to tell her.
You in love with Sally?
Well, sir, I hope not. But I'm afraid I am.
Why do you say you hope not?
Well, sir, for the same reason you came here. We both know what kind of a life a peace officer lives, what can happen to him. You see, Sally's from Boston, and well, sometimes I get the feeling that, well, that she thinks Dodge City is just a great big Wild West show.
I'm certain of that. I don't think she realizes just how violent and brutal life on the frontier can be.
Well, sir, that's why I haven't,
asked her to marry you?
Yes, sir.
Well, I hope you'll give yourself time to do some more thinking about it. I can't pretend that Sally would follow my wishes. She's like her mother, who insisted that we move west after the war. This country demanded more of my wife than her health could stand. I blame myself. That's why well, thank you for hearing me out.
Yes, sir.
Good day, Marshal.
So dreadful you can't tell me. What did my father say to you?
Just what every father would say. He was really very nice about it. What he had to say made sense.
Wyatt, my father's prejudice against this country for women on account of my mother.
I know. He doesn't want you to marry a man in my line of work.
So that's it. He's afraid I couldn't face up against the daily fear of your being hurt. I'm a coward.
You think about it.
I don't want to think about it. Wyatt, you are in love with me.
Yes, I am. But it can't come true. Not right now.
Why not?
Because of what you are, Sally, and what I am. What life in Dodge is like. You can't just marry.
Why didn't you shoot back?
He was aiming high. He was just trying to warn me.
I think I would have shot back. You see, I really am quite tough.
No, you're not.
Wyatt, did I faint? Am I crying?
We haven't seen a man get hit with a .45 slug yet.
I saw you hit Mr. Driscoll with a gun.
Well, you do have courage, Sally.
I have more courage than you. I'd marry you tomorrow. Say yes, Wyatt. Accept the proposal of this bold, bad woman who loves you so.
Sally, I love you so much that I...
Then it's settled. I'm going to be Mrs. Wyatt Earp. You can't escape now, dear.
Darling, I don't want to escape. I just want you to be sure that...
Wyatt! Wyatt!
You better take Miss Sally right straight back to the hotel.
Why?
The Driscoll and Rakel outfits are headed for town. Slap his face and wake him up from dreaming. He's the marshal of Dodge City, and if he don't think quick, he's going to be dead.
Dead?
Well, I hate to be so blunt, but you need to learn the truth.
Mr. Kelly is an excitable Irisher, Sally.
Don't let Mr. Earp blarney you. There's a bunch of mean, killing cowhands coming after him.
Very well, then. I'll have my father deputize every man in town. We'll fight them.
Not this boy. He'll try to do it all by himself.
Oh, now. Wyatt, you're not that foolhardy, are you?
Look, I've had men coming after me ever since I started as a marshal. 9 times out of 10, it was a false alarm, and the other times, well, I'm still living. Now, you go on back to your place and soak your head in a bucket of water. I'll talk to you later. Mr. Kelly has a large imagination.
Whatever my faults, I ain't a widow maker.
Widow maker. Is that supposed to frighten me?
Oh, no, it's just bad-tempered Kelly talk.
I wonder if my father couldn't have planned this whole thing. It's quite possible.
No.
Then if it is true about the cowhands, what are you going to do?
Well, I tell you, I'm going to take you back to your hotel, and I'm going to go have a nice long talk with Mr. Kelly.
But the cowhands, he said they were going to...
I'd have punched you one. I've let all your remarks about marriage pass, but what you pulled tonight was just about the limit.
Well, save your strength. You're gonna need it in the morning.
For what?
You ever hear of Big Rance, the foreman for Toby Driscoll?
No, I can't say as I have. Is he faster than Clay Allison?
He don't fight with guns. He fights with his fists.
Oh, well, that'll be a nice change.
Well, you won't think so. He's bigger than you are. And he's whipped every top fighter from here to San Antonio.
You trying to tell me that all they're gonna do is try and get me into a fist fight with Rance?
Driscoll and Rakel ain't stupid. They know Judge Fabian would call in the soldiers and hang any man who tried to gun you.
All right, so there's much ado about nothing.
Nothing, is it? Rance will beat you to a bloody pulp. You'll live a cripple the rest of your days, if you don't die.
Maybe. Now, what was the idea of trying to scare Miss Sally? I asked you a question.
And you'll get no answer from me. If you don't know what's wrong with you marrying a girl like her, I'd never get it through your thick head.
That widowmaker remark, huh?
Look, I got some fine brass knuckles around here. You better try them on for size.
I don't need your brass knuckles or anything else. So you think I'll leave Miss Sally a widow, huh?
It ain't likely. When Big Rance gets through with you, there couldn't even be a marriage. Now quit being a fool and put these in your pocket.
No, thanks.
Well, I've seen Big Rance fight. At least let me show you some of his dirty tricks.
I'm not interested, Mr. Kelly. But in regards to Miss Sally, if I ever hear this...
Get out of my place! I won't sleep a wink tonight. I'll see Big Rance's fists breaking your jaw and cracking your ribs. He wears Mexican spurs on his boots, and I can see him now.
Mr. Kelly, will you kindly shut up?
I found myself a brave girl. You know, you're the one that ought to be wearing skirts. Sometimes I think you're my friend, other times I think you're my enemy. You do me a favor tomorrow morning and be my friend, huh?
What's the deal?
Just don't try and stop the fight. Promise? Oh, and I hope you'll stand up for me at my wedding.
You're dreaming, Wyatt.
Judge fined us each $100. 300. Count it.
That's all right, Mr. Driscoll. I trust you when you're sober.
Thanks.
One other piece of business, Earp. A lot of our boys are waiting outside. They're not packing guns.
Yeah, I noticed that through the window.
My foreman, Mr. Rance, would like to have a talk with you. That is, if you'll take off your guns and keep your deputies from interrupting the conversation.
I tell you, Mr. Driscoll, I've already issued the necessary orders. I just hope you gentlemen have picked out a nice ringside section.
We're going to enjoy every second you last.
Your name, Rance?
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Give him the spurs, Rance.
Wyatt! Stop it! Stop it! What happened? Why is Wyatt fighting?
He had no choice.
You stop him! He's lost his mind! He'll put his eyes out! He'll blind him!
Can't stop a fight. Rance won't quit.
Come on, get up. Give it up again. Come on. Watch it. Come on, Wyatt.
Wyatt! Stop it! Stop it!
Come on. Give it. Rance. Get him now, Rance. Get him.
Throw some water on. You can take more of a beating than this.
No, Wyatt, please! You've whipped him!
Stay
Get
back,
up!
Sally. Keep her back. He's had all he can take. All right. Anybody else want some?
Yeah, I do. The Driscolls can't whoop you. Us Rakels can.
No, Wyatt, don't fight anymore!
She's right. You're tired. Look, I either run this town or I don't. Come on, get up!
Should have gone back to the hotel.
You didn't have to fight that other man. It was brutal.
I meant a brutal business. I told you that. Now you know.
Yes. Now I know.
I think the fight's over, but you better put these on. She'll feel better about it after she thinks about it.
No. No, she won't. She didn't even have to slap my face. I've quit dreaming, Mr. Kelly.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told. Long may his story be told. Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold.
his story be told.
The law-abiding element in Dodge City was ashamed of their town's reputation as the Gomorrah of the western frontier. That's why they hired Wyatt Earp to be their marshal in 1876. But it takes time and money to civilize a tough town. The city fathers of Dodge were understandably alarmed when they heard that a reporter for the great and influential New York Herald would be stopping off to write a story about conditions. As for Marshal Earp, it would be a cruel test of his efficiency as a peace officer. Dozens of penny shockers had spread the bad name of Dodge City throughout the land. But if a correspondent of the New York Herald could be impressed by one quiet day,
So this is the rip-roaring Dodge City, eh? Where's the dead man they serve up for breakfast?
Mr. Jensen, welcome to Dodge. I'm George Hoover, the mayor.
Oh, how do you do?
And these gentlemen are council members Kelly.
Sir.
Moffett.
How do you do?
Gale.
Hello.
And our marshal, Mr. Earp.
Howdy. Well, the famous Mr. Earp. When's the shooting start, Marshal?
Well, I kind of asked all the boys to hold off on that until after you got here. I think the first thing on the program is breakfast.
Well, yes, at my house. The rig's just across the street.
Thank you very much, sir. Oh, isn't Mr. Earp coming with us?
Well, of course.
Oh, thanks, but I got to feed my prisoners. I'll see you later.
By all means. I'll expect an interview.
Toby, just not so loud.
But Mom says you gotta stop him from fighting, or she will.
All right. Now, who's fighting?
The dogs. Bosco, that belongs to Mr. Willett, and Avery, that belongs to Mr. Sam Donovan. Mom says it's against the law, and if you don't stop him, she'll do it with a shotgun.
Where's the fight?
Behind the Long Branch Saloon, right next to our backyard.
I'll be with you in a second.
Hurry, sir. Don't wait to put on your coat. Mom will get to shooting.
Didn't you men hear what I said?
Oh, no, it's her again.
I said Toby for the marshal. But if he don't come and stop it, I'll stop it.
Keep your temper, Sarah. Dogfighting's a sport like boxing or anything.
No, it ain't. When men fight, that's their business. But sicking two poor dogs on each other, that's dirty, mean, and cruel.
Pay no attention, Sam. Are all the bets in? All the bets down?
Let everybody get
All right, form a circle, man. Form a circle.
Come on. Spread out. Spread out. I want Jack to get the first barrel, and Sam the other one.
Don't shoot, Mom. I'm from Marshal Earp.
Sorry, gentlemen, no dog fights.
Yeah, why not?
Because you're disturbing Mrs. Cullen, and I don't like dog fights.
No. You just like to fight with guns, huh?
Well, I tell you, Mr. Willett, I don't mind a good fist fight. Why don't you and Mr. Donovan fight? I'll referee.
It's a good idea.
But if you want your dogs to do the fighting for you, then you better go outside the city limits where I can't stop you.
We'll have it some other time. When Nosy Sarah ain't around. And how about her threatening us with that gun, Deacon Earp?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Donovan, you can file a complaint, but then I'd have to charge you with cruelty to your dog.
Me? Cruel to him?
You've been starving Avery to keep him in bad temper. You just move along, Mr. Donovan. I haven't finished my breakfast yet, and I'm kind of bad tempered myself. You better put away that gun, Mrs. Cullen.
Sure, Mr. Earp. And I thank you kindly.
Just about time for Toby to get ready for Sunday school, isn't it?
Aw, Mom, do I gotta?
Yes. Come on.
Mr. Earp needs me. Something else might happen. And I'm a special deputy on Saturdays and Sundays. Ain't I, Mr. Earp?
Oh, you've been a mighty big help, Mr. Toby.
No, he hasn't. He goes galloping after you, yelling bloody murder.
But, Mom!
There's a newspaper man from New York in town. Now, what'll he think of us? No chasing after Mr. Earp today, and not a yell out of you.
Yes, sir. So long, Mr. Earp.
I'll put you back on the force next weekend, Toby.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks, pal.
Sure. Nice, quiet Sunday, Wyatt. You can use one.
The whole town can use one, especially today.
Oh, you're talking about that newspaper fellow over at Mayor Hoover's, huh?
Mm-hmm. Hal, the eyes of the New York Herald are upon us.
Who cares what they think?
Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. See, the city's trying to borrow some money, and an awful lot depends on how much...
Uh-oh.
Gosh, Mr. Earp, didn't you hear the fire bell? It's old man Cayley's shed. I saw the smoke just as I started
Toby.
for Sunday school, and the flames... Yes, sir?
The fire department will take care of Mr. Cayley's shed.
Toby, why don't you stop dogging Mr. Earp? He started one breakfast, then all of
All right, all right. Shed will burn clean down before they get those firemen collected. Poor old man.
What?
Mr. Cayley's in the shed. Dead drunk. Oh, excuse me for mentioning it. I know the shortest cut, Mr. Earp.
You try and eat the breakfast.
You stay here.
Don't try it, Mr. Earp. You'll get burnt up.
Come on, Wyatt. Let's go.
Oh, darn fool, start dipping your buckets in full water, boys. Mighty hot in there. Guess I'll make a try at getting Earp out. Drunk, dead to the world. Let her burn, boys. Save the water in case the house starts to hot up.
All right, then, we won't use it.
Mighty spunky work, Marshal. But you ought to arrest him. Third fire he started this year.
It's grand larceny, Mr. Earp.
It's just too much to drink. Now, you keep him here. Make him watch it burn.
Ought to let his house burn, too. Have a stronger effect.
Don't you worry, Mr. Cayley. They won't let your house burn. You still got plenty of time to make Sunday school.
What are you sorting me for? I didn't yell fire on the street.
I'm not sorry. You did a good deed.
Then I don't have to go. I can coast maybe until next Sunday.
Master Toby, you are in no state of grace to allow any coasting.
But I helped you save Mr. Cayley and the shed.
Now, do you want me to cancel your appointment as special deputy?
No, sir. I'll go.
Excuse me, Mr. Jensen. I'm sorry to keep you waiting.
Not at all, Marshal. Trouble in town?
Nothing like that. Just a quiet, normal day. Excuse me, I'm gonna get myself a little slicked up for church.
Now, Marshal, aren't you pulling my leg?
In what way, Mr. Jensen?
All this talk about how quiet and peaceful Dodge City is. I've had quite a bit of it from your mayor and councilman. Is this town really civilized?
No, sir, not yet.
How long have you been marshal here, Mr. Earp?
Oh, about 3 months now.
How many men have you had to kill in the line of duty?
Well, none so far.
Really? But there have been killings here. Pitched gun battles, that sort of thing?
Well, been a few killings and gunfights.
But this is just a normal, quiet day. Not a shot fired since...
Excuse me, Mr. Jensen. I'll be back in a minute.
Go on.
Hal, I come up.
Come on, back here. Come on.
Drunk and discharging weapons in the street.
Those men were just showing off, Mr. Jensen.
Well, nobody got hurt.
Oh. I wish you'd put that in your paper. You know, 90% of all the wildness in Dodge is just bragging and bluster like that. You see, it's...
Indians! Indians, Mr. Earp! A big bunch of dull nice men on the warpath. It'll be a massacre. Reverend Halcott sent everybody home from Sunday school, and...
Hold it. Now, there's no truth in this, is there, Toby?
Yes, sir, there sure is. They're right outside the town, and they sent a message to Mayor Hoover.
You sure?
There he is now, and Mr. Kelly. That'll prove it.
Now, son, it's all right. I can't understand this, Wyatt. A buffalo hunter brought it in. He says there's a war party of Cheyennes this side of the river.
Folks are getting a little excited, Wyatt.
Excited? They're scared. Mom's loading the shotgun with slugs.
Yeah, they want to send a powwow man into town. Guess I better ride out there.
Alone? Oh, heaven save us all.
Mr. Jensen, I kind of like to have you go along with me out there.
Well, that's foolhardy, Wyatt. Why don't we let the powwow man come in and say what he has to say?
Because he wouldn't get 50 yards down Front Street. I don't think there's too much risk in it, Mr. Jensen. Anyway, I'd kind of like to have you see how wild rumors run in our town.
Very well. Glad to accompany you, Marshal.
Wyatt, you want to get him killed by Indians?
If he's even scratched, the New York
Mr.
Herald...
Mayor, I take it for granted that Mr. Jensen is here to write the truth about us. Isn't that right, Mr. Jensen?
That's right, Mr. Earp.
Can we borrow your buggy? Oh, and keep young Toby here.
Dull Knife and his people are on the warpath, you know.
We're friendly. I help Mr. Cousin, Mr. Brother. They're blood kin to Dull Knife. Promise safe conduct to me and anybody with me.
The Cheyennes out there know that?
I sure hope so.
Friends here?
No. What's the trouble?
No trouble. Much. My brother got arrow in leg. He went white man's doctor.
Put him on a horse.
You shoot him, huh?
No.
What is your name?
Earp. Wyatt Earp.
Mr. Cousin of Yellow Hand, say you are a good man. Is there also good white doctor?
Doc McCarty. Very good doctor.
I will put my brother on horse.
I'm most grateful, Mr. Earp. This is the best story I've collected on my travels.
Quiet, no violence.
Mm-hmm.
Well, afraid I missed church. Should like to have you be my guest for dinner.
Thank you, but I doubt if I'll have much of an appetite. Indians scare me. We've given them so many good reasons to shoot.
Marshal Earp! You better come quick. It's Frog-Face Perkins and Mr. Kelly. Frog-Face says he's going to shoot Mr. Kelly. And Mr. Kelly, he's got a gun.
All right, all right. Why don't you break it up?
Perkins ain't armed. I figure it's a lot of talk.
No, it ain't. There'll be a bloody gunfight, Mr. Earp.
Toby, I think your mother wants you. Al, take the Indian on over to Doc McCarty's. Mr. Jensen, I'll see you over at the Dodge House in about 10 minutes.
And I say you're a cheating a swindler, Kelly. You just hang on to that gun. I'm going to get my own gun.
Well, Mr. Perkins,
Now, what's all this row between you and Mr. Kelly?
He knows. Maybe he'll tell you.
Let him go for his gun, Wyatt. I ain't running.
Now, wait a minute. Put that gun up, Mr. Kelly. Now, there's not going to be any gunfighting today. If I catch either one of you with a gun, there's going to be trouble. You understand?
All right. You're the law.
Councilman Kelly.
Well, I'm in the right of the quarrel.
Well, then fight it out some other day. Just when I got this newspaper man thinking we're half civilized, you go and bust loose.
Ah, I told George Hoover we could never hide what we are. Let them New York papers print what they like.
Mr. Kelly, $100,000 is a big loan in these days.
We won't get it.
Well, we might. If Jensen doesn't go and print us up as a rowdy bunch. Now, I'm going to ask you as a personal favor not to get in any trouble today. How about it?
Well, for what Perkins called me, I should blow his gizzard out. But I owe you the favor.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Aaron go brah.
Porterhouse steak, 25 cents. Roast of buffalo hump, 30 cents. Prairie chicken fricassee, 20 cents. I'll have to show this menu to Delmonico's when I get back to New York.
Well, I recommend a quail on toast. It's very good.
But that's 50 cents. I don't want to put on airs.
You get 2 whole quail, more than you can eat with vegetables and all.
Well...
Yes, it's just a horse race. I kind of wish the boys wouldn't use Front Street, though. Well, Sully, I'll start with some oysters and some quail on toast. And...
Marshal Earp!
I thought I told you that you were
It's
supposed
a crooked race, Mr. Earp. The Bardee rider fouled that lazy H pony.
Will you please go home?
Yes, sir. But don't blame me if the lazy H'ers go for their guns. And if they don't kill a few, the gamblers will. But don't blame me.
You go ahead and order. I'll be right back.
Our horse got fouled. You hit him across the face with your quirt just as he was going to pass you.
That's a dirty lie. We want fair and square. You lazy H's are just crybabying to get out of paying the bets.
We ain't paying no bets.
You don't welch on us. We'll get our guns and then we'll collect.
We got guns, too.
You bet we should.
Let's get this settled.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know who was fouled, and I don't care, but I'm calling all bets off.
All right. Then we'll run the race over.
Next Sunday.
What big-headed notion is this, Earp? You can't tell us
Yes,
what...
I'm telling you. Now, all bets are off, and the race is postponed 1 week. You understand? Now, break it up.
I'll bet you that.
Go on.
Where's Jensen?
Oh, he went with Mr. Kelly. Look at Boot Hill just before dark.
Yeah, I reckon they went back to Kelly's place to have a drink. Yeah. What do you think we put it over?
Hope so. You want some milk?
No. Well, it has been a quiet day. No killings, no gunfights, and only 2 arrests.
Yeah, well, we all tried to sit on the lid.
Jensen couldn't write anything wild and woolly about us.
Well, not yet, no, but I'll sure be a lot happier when he's on that night stage for Kansas City.
Maybe you should have stayed with him, Wyatt.
He took quite a shine to Jim Kelly.
Wish I had more confidence in Jim.
Come on, you like Mr. Kelly? Anyway, he's what the newspaper men call a colorful personality.
Yes, that's right, but... Toby, are you still dogging Mr. Earp around?
No, sir.
Well, it must be good news. Whatever it's bad news, he comes in on the gallop.
I guess it's good.
What do you mean, Toby?
Well, I don't think Frog-Faced Perkins would actually kill Mr. Jensen. He might kill Mr. Kelly, but what's he got against Mr. Jensen?
Well, come on out with it. Did Frog-Face have his guns?
A gun, yes, sir.
Well, then what happened? I mean, where are they?
Boot Hill Cemetery.
Good heavens. Tell us, boy.
Nothing much to tell, I guess. Frog-Faced Perkins sneaked up and caught him at Boot Hill.
Well, then what did they do?
Well, he said he was going to shoot Mr. Kelly and then shoot Mr. Jensen because he'd be a witness. But I don't think he'd actually shoot Mr. Jensen.
Well, how long ago was this?
Just before dark.
Good heavens above. What happened after Perkins put a gun on them?
I don't know. I got scared and ran. It'd soon be dark in Boot Hill, and that's a scary place, and I wouldn't be scared with Mr. Earp along. Is it all right if I go too?
No, you go home. And if I ever catch you running after Mr. Earp again, I'll send you to reform school.
Reform school?
The reform school.
Reform school.
Your time is about up, Kelly. You gonna buy a footstone for my pal's grave?
Never. I spent all the money you give me for the headstone, and $12 more.
Why, that headstone ain't worth no $70. You're a no good cheat, Kelly. You're the lowest skunking cheat there is. Robbing the dead.
Mr. Perkins.
Yeah?
I see no need for this morbid talk. I don't defend Mr. Kelly. He's a stubborn Irishman.
You hear that, Kelly?
But that's no reason for committing cold-blooded murder. I'm reaching for money, not a gun.
I don't want your money. I want him to pay.
Not 1 red cent.
All right. I'll give you 10 seconds to say a prayer. Now start praying.
You start. Shoot him, Wyatt.
I ought to break his arm.
Go ahead.
No, stop it. That wouldn't make nice reading in the Herald, Mr. Earp.
No, I guess it wouldn't, Mr. Jensen. Come on, Mr. Kelly. Give me a hand over to Doc McCarty's. Get the scalp stitched up.
You're hooligans, all of you.
Ruthless, brutal hooligans.
Listen to that now. You keep Frog-Face from murdering the both of us, and he calls you names.
He'll change his mind when he's had a chance to think about it. I'll take a look in your trunk rack if you don't mind.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Earp. You hold up stages in your spare time?
Well, I thought so.
Oh, Mr. Earp.
Now, come on, get out there. All right, Willie. Go on. Bye, Mr. Jensen. Now, what did you think you were doing?
Mayor Hoover threatened to send me to reform school.
Well, that's just a joke, Toby. But what Mr. Jensen's going to write about us won't be any joke.
Why should he write bad things about us? Nobody did anything much. It was a nice, quiet day.
Sure. But when you get to be an old man and read about Dodge City in the history books, well, there just won't be any quiet days at all.
Why?
Well, because the quiet days, the ones where people didn't do any fighting or killing or steal each other blind, well, they just won't be counted in the history books.
But doesn't the good Lord count them, Mr. Earp?
Yes, Toby. He counts them.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told. Long may his story be told.
আপনি কিন্তু দেখতে যথেষ্ট সুন্দরী একজন মানুষ, দেখতে বেশ রোমান্টিক, যেন শেক্সপিয়ারের নাটকের কোনো নায়িকার মতো। ভেবেছিলাম, কিন্তু আপনি তো পুরোটাই মর্মান্তিক। যে কোনো মানুষ আপনাকে দেখে মর্মাহত হতে পারে।
আমার হালকা হতে 1 মাস সময় লেগেছে।
আপনার 1 মাস সময় লাগে? আমার হালকা হতে তো 1 মিনিট লাগে।
আমার কাছে মনে হয় জীবনসঙ্গী এমন হওয়া উচিত যার সাথে আপনি প্রতিটা মুহূর্ত উপভোগ করতে পারবেন, সারাক্ষণ খুনসুটিতে মেতে থাকতে পারবেন, এবং তার মনে এমনভাবে বসবাস করবেন যে আপনার দিকে সে একটাবার তাকালেই বলে দিতে পারবে যে তার বেঁচে থাকার কারণই আপনি।
পথে চলতে চলতে, কথা বলতে বলতে, কখন যেন হলে আমার।
জানি গল্পে গল্পে, মিশে অল্পে অল্পে, আমিও হয়ে গেছি তোমার।
ছোট ছোট ভুল ফুটে হলো ফুল, যে তোমাকে পেলাম।
গুটি গুটি পাই স্বপ্নের লাই, আমি ভেসে গেলাম।
আপনি কি মনে করেছেন একজন মানুষ আমার জীবন থেকে চলে গিয়েছে এবং আপনি সেই সুযোগটা কাজে লাগিয়ে আপনার ফিলিংস গুলো আমার কাছে এক্সপ্রেস করবেন আর আমি সেটা হ্যাপিলি অ্যাকসেপ্ট করে নিব? এই হচ্ছে আপনার বন্ধুত্বের নমুনা?
রোদের পাখি তোর শহরে, আমার মনের স্বপ্ন ঘিরে। ওরে পাখি ওরে সারাক্ষণ, তোর শহরে বৃষ্টি হলে ভিজে আমার মন।
Cũng đau vậy? Cho sửa cả mày đi anh chơi lắm. Đừng nhặt nhầm đồ, đừng nhặt nhầm đồ, đừng nhặt nhầm đồ, đừng nhặt nhầm đồ. Xong. Có đủ đồ rồi này. Chả có nằm cái này có ấn gì à? Ấn gì ấy? Ấn thần thoại, ấn sử ra. Trốn nào? Trốn không? 400 củ đây. Vì có phải nữa là 531 củ. Thì ăn perfect. Không hiểu. Perfect. Mini code 416 lap. Qua 400 lap rồi. Rồi. Pháp rồi xong này. Đi Lào, và này còn đồ đéo nữa. Còn nào đạp phép không? Sắt thương phép này. Sắt 500 sắt thương phép này. Con này full sắt thương phép này. Ok. Làm đéo còn gì. Là còn một cái kim có đồ mà đéo. Ok, xong. Với ai đây? Ba cái thằng kia. Bạn kia có lắc thì sự láo đấy. Bạn kia có cả lắc thì sự đéo dấu ấy. 500 củ là thiếu 30 triệu đó. Thiếu 26 triệu. Mốt nữa thì sẽ được là tiền từ triple phân nữa. Nên 6.6 thôi. 6.4 nhỉ? Quên mất rồi. Nhưng mà là tầm 6 chấm hơn. Yes. Mày A2 nữa là xong. A2 nữa là xong game. Ui đi. Hỏng ấy, hỏng. Hỏng đấy. Ui tí cút đánh bóng ạ. Bóng thằng nào ấy? Hộ cái đi. Thằng bốc lửa. Gì tí thua. Chi. Mình cầm bóng nó tí cút. Cho thêm máu à? 19 thì làm chi? Là mình phải thắng hoặc mình cút. Một trong hai thằng này. Được. ra át này. Thằng này cầm 2 con át. Một thằng cầm 2 con át này. Thằng này không cầm át nào. Nó muốn lửa đeo giết nó rồi. Nó nằm máu rồi bây giờ thì 15. Nó mà chết mình chỉ chết. Cái thằng vậy con lắc và bắn phát cho gần con át 100 phút. Nó cầm át rồi nhưng mà nếu thằng át nhở cũng mất 4 con mà. Không tỏ một bắn lỏ lắm. Để bảo mà một bắn lỏ nhất còn bị CC bị hất tung nữa trốn.
ভালোবাসা সুন্দর, ভালোবাসাও সুন্দর। মানুষ নিজের অজান্তেই ভালোবেসে ফেলে।
আমারও মনে হয় কি জানেন, আপনার মতো জানাশোনা কাউকে না আমার বিয়ে করা উচিত।
এটা কি উপলক্ষে?
ম্যাডাম ফুলটা গ্রহণ করুন, তারপরে বলতেছি।
ভোটার আইডি কার্ডে যার স্বাক্ষরের জায়গায় টিপসই দেয় এখানে কেউ ডাক্তার।
এই দুইজনের মধ্যে যে আগে ম্যাডামের মন জয় করতে পারবে ম্যাডাম তার।
একদিন না দেখলে তোমায় বন্ধু আন্ধার লাগে সব, তোমার এই প্রেমে এমনই টান।
রোগীদের তো ডক্টরের কাছে আসলে ব্যথা কমে যায়, আপনি তো উল্টো হলো কেন? আপনি কি একটু উল্টা?
তোমায় ছাড়িয়া যাব মরিয়া, তোমায় ছাড়িয়া যাব মরিয়া, যেও না বন্ধু আমার ভুলিয়া ভুলিয়া।
আমার মনে হয় আমার সমস্যা কপালে, ম্যাডাম আমার কপালে নেই, আমার কপালে আছে দাগ।
Rồi thì xin đấm đầu đấy. Chết mày ố. Ui chịu. Một chết không chết. Nhưng mà con quái tí giết con chít. Quái giết con chít xong là nó chết luôn. Quái chít chảy đau đấy. Chôn tao. Bài thằng này cũng khỏe à. Thằng 229 chưa chết à? Xong rồi. Gặp cái thằng mạnh nhất rồi. Xong. Đây. Đâu có gì nhất rồi. Thôi bài full rồi nhà xét cơ, đâu có xét. Thảo xét. Tí ăn thằng này à. Thế quả thì mình sẽ xếp bài lệch sang một chút thì sẽ được. Sẽ xét lui sang góc. Rồi. Chuẩn không vậy. 700 củ anh sẽ revert phát nữa. Còn thiếu 600 củ để revert lên 660 à. Anh không có revert lên 10 400 vòng rồi này. Ông phải qua kỷ lục 430 quay không? 435 nhỉ? 119 20 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 kỷ lục mới. Đi record. Rồi 233 kỷ lục mới, qua kỷ lục mới tận 3 lap. Ê thua lại. Phải không? Ê không thua. Mày rồi ăn tao. Rồi có top 4 rồi. Có top 4 rồi. Mình sẽ không phải là cái thằng hậu cái D nữa. Mình cần cái gì rồi? Xẻng rồi cái này ra định mệnh. Được. Ây à, khôn thế nhờ. Một cái gì đây, một cái nỏ xét à, một cái nỏ xét rồi. Ai đang phụ đơn luôn thằng đéo cho thế. Mình đã trả thưởng 1 đô. Xét cây đăng phép à. Cái thằng này à, thằng này sẽ phải lưu xuống đây đi. Bế xua thầy Galileo bên kia xếp bài láo hả? Thì bay nhanh như ngựa ấy, nhanh như ngựa thì xếp bài láo thì nó mới phù hợp. Ok, sự là phù hợp ấy, sự là phù hợp ấy. Không được, không phù hợp rồi, không phù hợp rồi. Sắp đi rồi, sao thì đứng đây chết nhỉ? Ê thằng khỏe đấy. Đừng quăng át nữa, làm ơn. Thua rồi. Thua. Trừ mấy? Trừ 9 à? Trừ 9, binh top 3. Thằng kia bài ấy mạnh phết. Bài nhớ gì tá tim. Khỏe. Không biết là khỏe. Chia anh này đi. Mai cả tờ nhà anh nữa. 134 rồi. Cái nút lên cho nhiều phết. 135, 36. 160. 36 chuẩn. Léo ấy. Mày tích lẻ. Sắp 1 tiếng rồi. Hàng kia khởi động à? Hàng kia khởi động một mới à? Chân lòng. Đấu trường chân ái. Nghĩa sự kiện 100 lap à? Tôi vượt qua kỷ lục không ta? Sự cần vượt qua kỷ lục ấy. 600 triệu coin thì đi vớt tiếp. Đéo bật auto thì vớt được. Đéo thì cũng tiền. Bay chọn ông thầy ơi. Uống nước này 200 lap. Chọn chưa? Ok, không nhận gì được. Thì ai?
তোমাকে 15 লাখ টাকাই দিতে হবে। তুমি যদি দিতে না পারো তোমার বাবাকে কল দাও। তোমার যত জমি জিরাত বাড়িতে যা যা আছে এগুলো বেচা হইলেও তোমরা আমাদের টাকা পাই পাই করে শোধ করবা।
একটা ব্যাপার কি খেয়াল করছো? শহরে কিন্তু দুইটা রূপ, রাতের এক রূপ, দিনের আর এক রূপ।
বেঁধেছি ঘর হৃদয়ের পর গাঢ় সবুজ ওই গহীন বনে।
আরে ব্রো, সবসময় চিল থাকতে হবে, কিচ্ছু মাথায় নেওয়া যাবে না।
ভালোবাসা হচ্ছে একজন আরেকজনের উপর ভরসা করে, একজন আরেকজনের হাতের উপর হাত রেখে এই জীবনটা কাটিয়ে দেয়া। কিছু মানুষ এই রাত জেগে থাকে আর টাকার বিনিময়ে সুখ খুঁজে।
বসুন।
এখন তো সিরিয়াস হওয়া উচিত, তাই না? আমি তো কোথাও যাচ্ছি না পার্টি করতে। তুমি কেন যাচ্ছ? কেন বন্ধ করতে পারতেছো না বলো তো? কার যে কোথায় সুখ সেটা তার প্রিয় মানুষটাও কখনো জানতে পারে না।
পাশাপাশি তবু যাচ্ছি বিপরীতে, কাছাকাছি তবু যাচ্ছি বহু দূরে।
হাই, ইউ লুক গুড।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
Tao mũi à? What the hell? Chuồn ra. Cút hết. Có lẽ nào em vội quên đi, và có lẽ nào 500 củ ấy. 614 củ à? Thế mình kiếm 100 củ nữa, sự là có nổi không? Ôi à, không rồi, anh đã ấn vội rồi. 62 triệu rồi. 62 triệu rồi. Cũng một lần quay được gần 100 củ ấy. 100 củ không? Mình quay được 400 lap à? Được. 400 lap phải được 100 củ. Lớp mình bù nó vào. Vương miện định mệnh. Rồi xong, biết đánh mày gì rồi. Đánh mày gì rồi, biết đánh mày gì rồi. Tôi nhặt bài này. Có lẽ nào em vội quên đi, và có lẽ nào quên đi, có lẽ nào em trong tâm trí em. Ôi gà cho cái này à? Đọc rồi nào. Xong Bình. Vua tối ưu Aria. Bán này. Mèo 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 này mà phải đét không đẹp. 598 củ chưa đủ, chưa phải là tất cả. Mấy thằng ấy ra quát lipet ở cái map 2 này sử có đéo gì trốn. Cái pet này yếu như lợn. Anh khinh yes khinh beat ITCS big ai á Torres xì điều sao Torres xì ra Torres rồi xì guys xì good xì ra Torres à chưa ok lần nào cũng phải lắp cái danh nga xoa. Big IC Pasikia. Ủa Xuân bố Hiếu béo đang playing Space War. Cái gì vậy? Ui ôi nháy phát 2 lần. Chuẩn không vậy chóm. Chuẩn đét cho thôi. Chuẩn và đét.
দরকার পড়লে একটা রিকশাওয়ালাকে বিয়ে করবো, তারপর তোকে বিয়ে করতে।
তুমি যদি মরো যে আমি তোমাকে বিয়ে করব।
দেখো দেখো বিয়ে এত সোজা।
আমার 5টা কন্ডিশন।
কয়টা?
5টা।
আমি জেডি সাফায়েত রমরাজন। স্যার এটা তো ভোটার আইডি কার্ড স্যার।
গাড়িতেই করবেন নাকি হোটেলে?
না না আপনি যেমনটা ভাবছেন বিষয়টা তা না। ভাই আপনি তো করবেন।
তোমাকে দিয়ে হবে না, আমি জানতাম। শুধু শুধু সময় নষ্ট করো না।
ভাই আপনি তো অনন্ত দলিল না যে অসম্ভবকে সম্ভব করে আপনার কাজ।
জিমি
কি হচ্ছে?
আচ্ছা
আঙ্গের পো একদম বইরা দিমু যাচ্ছে সব বাইক কর।
শর্ত দিয়ে বিয়ে শর্ত দিয়ে বিয়ে।
ভাই যে বয়সে মানুষ গার্লফ্রেন্ডের কামড় খায় সে বয়সে আপনি কুত্তার কামড় খেয়ে হাসপাতালে ভর্তি হয়েছেন।
Mustang Mui Trần Vinh 87 à? Đây á 88 46 à? 19 50 51 lưu record này. Lần trước cũng 51 một tẹo. Ui đây rồi quyền trượng của tôi. Phải thua á? Bài này phải thua. Đã xét rồi mà thua. Quyền trượng rồi, xin cảm ơn. Rồi xong. Bay cao như thầy xem là quay rất nhiều quỷ. Ok broccoli sắp rồi, anh đã nói trận cả đến là broccoli bình. Chia xem xong cần phải đi ngủ. Binh cái xa chị bay lên trên là gì đâu, có gì thấy cái gì không? Nó không ra mắc file được rồi. Chắc ra cách xa không ra mắc file đâu. Sẽ lái binh chê linh cái bay 400 lap ở Go 2 thấy đang cày tiền thì rebirth lên 7 nốt lần này lên 7 đã quay về Go 3 thầy bay tốc độ mà ác ma ác quỷ. Wow binh chi và lên em ơi, có thể không mình thắng. Yes. Quỷ ác quỷ vai bài này vẫn thua thằng đếm nào ấy, thằng nhà chữ Trung Quốc. What the hell, thuật sĩ tiến hóa tự nhiên á chúng ta Xông ra toilet à? Xông ra toilet à? Nên đợi em chết mà. Chết lấy Asia 2 lên 9, lấy Asia 2 binh chi linh. Anh ạ. Chết 7 ra xét mà. Vừa lên chết 7 phát ra xét luôn. Hiểu. Bây giờ anh lấy cái phòng hộ cho tiền hay anh ngồi zone hết đến 50 tiền, còn 50 tiền thôi mà anh, là còn hơn 60 tiền nhé. Tiền ra xét thôi xong, tất cả dừng lại. Chuẩn không vợ chồng. Đẹp trai vãi bíp. Sự đẹp trai không? Sấm mút rồi, sấm mớt trời này. Ai à? Mèo nhớ ra gì rồi? Là cuối 2 vòng cơ. Hả? Cháu biết. Thì sao? Thằng này lẽ oan rồi gì. Áo chat ngay. Chuồn ông. Perfect. Nhiều record này, ngon. 460 không? 60 rồi. Ngon. 61, 62. Đâu đi 62. Ô, đây rồi. Có lao nữa phải không? Rồi chú bị lên cơn điên rồi em ơi. Có tay không? Vừa bảo đéo ra vẫn ra. Mày trốn vẫn ra oan mà, đéo hiểu. Vừa nó có hiểu đi thần rừng anh không chơi. Cái định mệnh định mệnh một thần rừng rồi. Anh mà biết đánh chết 10 thì sẽ là 6 thần dương 7 định mệnh. Khiếp, mày sấy kinh rồi. Nằm vào rửa lỗ không vậy? Huy nhân được không? 28 máu chắc thế. Chắc thế. Gì? Mèo. Ôi dạ sao có này đây? Cái gì? Thì anh vừa bảo đấy. Thế anh mới để im thằng kia ở đấy. Mèo gió lắp thế. Chi. Ủa nó vậy chồng. Thôi kìa. Vậy. Có Huy cầm cái kìa, sự cùng nhau. Từ xem cái thằng này á. Nổ không vậy? Thôi xong rồi, mày đi. Thần tài biết điếp ấy, thần tài biết điếp mà. Rồi anh gặp rồi, nó biết điếp mà. Anh gặp nó lúc đầu của biết là biết điếp ấy. Nằm 4 vào. Sống được không? Chứ cũng vậy. Ký thua. Xin ra 3 không? Check. Xin ra 3 không? Tí chịu này. Ok mọi người, anh cũng định mà. Anh xin ra 3 rồi mà. Có thể không? Azit. Chưa kéo. Anh chậm mà. Bình tĩnh nhỉ. Chết rồi. Hả? Kéo gì? Kéo đồ này á, định mệnh á. Sao? Bình tĩnh. Thằng này nó khỏe mà. Mình thôi muốn chết. Trời, nhìn dễ. Xin ra 3 luôn. Không đâu, không anh nhận đâu. Không, giống ai chơi. Trốn đâu. Mình dừng này. Được rồi. Là giáp gái nhưng mà giáp gái dễ bị em mất lắm. Chỉ muốn lấy giáp này. Ở đây rồi. Ai mấy dispute. Đéo hiểu. Dở vậy. Đây rồi. Kìa, hai thằng đứng một chỗ à? Không, nhưng mà thằng này cũng khỏe. Không biết em rồi. Ê, xét lại. Để xét làm chi ạ? 7 đinh mệnh là tao à? Thôi, thua. Thua mà, đâu hiểu. Không, chưa có được. Đâu có à, có ai giữ đâu. Chuẩn. Không có ai giữ đâu. Ra luôn không? Cái này chọn cái đéo chả được. Thằng nào chả chết. Thế cho hết đồ rồi à? Vẫn để hết đồ đó không? Nó binh hơn à? Thôi gặp thằng này đi. Thằng này vừa mình thua. Nó làm cái gì ấy? Nó phải ăn đi ba kìa. Nó phải ăn đi ba này. Thằng này có phải ăn đi ba mày em. Ê, nó thiếu một con. Nó phải azit nữa kìa. Sai. Không được rồi thầy ơi. À. Được, sao dòng mình sao tự rơi ra cái xin ra. Chịu vậy vẫn mảng. Thầy đi mua làm. Không có đâu. Ồ. Tự ra mà bảo rồi. À. Dấu đây. Chi. Mày. Giờ mới ping. Oan một đéo dạo cái đằng kia luôn đấy oan rồi. Lụm. Bữa xanh không? Hay cái này? Có chút dồn nữa không?